Searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way, yeah. Birds chirping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Is gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah.
I know where we can go. I know where we can go, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you come get lost with me. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again.
Every time you two are getting rough, my mind just sounds like Shia LaBeouf. It says no, 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 just no, 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 no. And every time I see him with you, my heart sounds like Shia LaBeouf too. No, 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 no.
No,
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year where we have to come to one of the greatest leagues in Counter-Strike and say goodbye to one of the greatest teams in Counter-Strike who just haven't been performing today, though it might be one to rise. It's eXtatus taking on GODSENT. I'm going to be Tea Time. Joining me is none other than Maui Snake, a man who I'm sure a lot of you people know from having frequented Torrent's channel, who appears once every now and then and really astounds all of us with his knowledge and will hopefully be doing the same today. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for introing me. How are you doing?
I mean, I have to say, I have mixed feelings right now because on one end, we've got eXtatus who are so on the up and up. And I mean, you were just telling me about how they've been performing so incredibly well. And on the other, we're seeing so many of these Swedish veterans players who have always been somewhere in limbo on GODSENT. And it leaves me with very mixed feelings about going into this match, how I want it to turn out. And I really can't be supporting either one of these teams as we head right into it.
Yeah, I think we're in for a pretty good show here, as eXtatus probably have something up their sleeves here, taking on GODSENT on a map they actually didn't do that well on in the regular season. But I think they knew that GODSENT actually did pretty badly on Cobble throughout their Pro League season as well, and yeah, they can get something here.
Well, they're definitely getting something with there as Hampus already picks up Monty. He's taking down the man with the utility. Fifth will be able to trade it out. Twist as well to get one. Zedco and Questone adding a few more to their score, but unfortunately for them, Freddy B will be shutting it all out. 1-0 GODSENT. Not even needing to use all of their utility. Freddy B still having a flashbang left over from his dead teammate's body.
Yeah, that was a pretty simple execute by GODSENT. They just smoked off the door, were able to do a pretty simple split from Drop and Plat, and even though eXtatus had quite a few of their members towards that B bomb site, really didn't seem to stand a chance.
And well, that's going to be an interesting situation that GODSENT find themselves in as they're being forced to go up against the scout of Zedco, who's already found one tag, but being tagged down himself, he has to play a little bit more safely. The setup looking interesting so far. 2-1-2 from the CT side, and Hampus will be able to get one bit already taken over mid. Frozen, though, quick to respond. The Deagle in his hand, and he will be able to return fire very quickly.
Yeah, Frozen is definitely one of the players to watch for this eXtatus side. It was their best player throughout the MDL season, the only guy posting above a 1.06 rating. Everyone else on the team kind of having pretty average ratings in all honesty, but Zedco's going to get taken out by Twist, and GODSENT looks to take this A bomb site in a pretty simple 4v1 now.
Exactly, it only leaves Monty left alive. He does have a UMP that was dropped over from Hampus, and with the Molotov at least he can hope to try and get some damage, reclaim some economy, but I would really prefer to see him just save this going into the next round. You can still do a lot. Throw over that's easy to a teammate of yours and maybe he can get a couple of kills while you've got the UMP plus full armor, might I add. So it seems like a bit of a waste to just throw it away in a 1v4 without really having too much of a chance to get anything at all.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that the guns still do have some potential into the upcoming round to do some work, but yeah. Pretty simple stuff, and he's actually just going to get taken out pretty easily. Not sure about his decision there to try to just get one kill. Maybe he wanted the $600, but at the end of the day, unable to do so.
it is always a difficult situation to find yourself in as a CT side when you're hoping for a couple of exit frags as they're turning around and going back towards their retreat away from the bomb, but unfortunately for him, it just doesn't turn out to be the case. Now though, full eco coming out from the Swedes, not from the Swedes rather, against the Swedes from eXtatus. And looks like they're not going to be able to get too much done as already Zedko finds himself tagged down, but I scratched that one right off my head as Zedko's going to be able to take off the head of Hampus. Twist responds very quickly with the Mac 10 though, and this is that bonus round to come through where they're going to be able to get a lot of money as long as Twist is the man leading the charge. He is in a perfect position to be able to try and pincer them through, but there's Frozen on the other side with the Mac 10 of his own, and he finds the angle, but Twist gets a flick. Quick kill onto Frozen.
Yeah, that looked like it was all in Frozen's favor, but Twist with some really nice reactions there, able to get him. Pretty good spot from Frozen, all things considered, but just I think one little noise and online Counter-Strike, you're not going to miss those.
Of course not. I mean, Twist always been one of those players who's somewhat criticized as well, but as I say that, Twist is just going to be jumping right in. Mac 10 as already, he wants to pad his wallet. He'll be able to get one, and giving away that Mac 10 will not be allowed to stay in Zedko's hands for much longer as the wallbang comes through. Freddy as well with a quick flick, and Devil will be the next casualty. And, you know, Twist is obviously one of those players who's always been criticized for having the potential to be a star, but perhaps lacking some of the motivation and perhaps lacking some of the killer instinct, so to speak. And that's always such a shame to see, especially in Swedish Counter-Strike, which is infamous for having these players who are incredibly, incredibly skilled, but perhaps don't have the most rigorous of an attitude towards the game.
Yeah, definitely can agree with you there. I do think there is some wasted talent there. However, Twist has been performing rather well lately, and despite not playing at any huge tournaments... Oh, pretty big round starting actually here. Quite in favor of eXtatus, and just a couple members left for GODSENT.
Frozen doesn't get checked in the corner. He's going to be able to get another one, and he knows where the last man is. Twist has had his AWP reveal his position with the gun barrel sticking out. And Devil is able to finish it off. A clean round from eXtatus, not the possession of an AWP that allowed them to do so. Instead, it's 5 rifles, a good setup, a nice little crossfire over towards that mid side, and they're able to clean things up easily.
Yeah, they were just trying to get into the water position there, and we're really faced with some pretty good opposition from eXtatus. GODSENT not looking too strategical or tactical in the beginning of this match, but we'll see if they have anything else to bring to us in this gun round.
Well, it's an op-on-op battle now. Both teams are fully decked out in terms of firepower, but utility a little bit lacking. GODSENT, their setup is interesting again, perhaps a bit of a default where they're not really willing to go too far forward. Frozen in the corner that he was inhabiting before as well. He's not going to be able to find anyone too early on, at least.
And this is shaping up to be a B hit from GODSENT. They already actually were able to take control of the drop position, and it's starting to pull a rotation out from Frozen. So eXtatus is well aware of what's going on here, but unsure if they'll be able to stop it. The first entry frag from Dolphin's going to give them a huge opening into the site, as Dolphin's actually able to find 3 now. And that's going to definitely have to do it for Zedko and the rest of eXtatus as he begins to save his weapon.
And eXtatus, but despite having a very clean round earlier on, this is going to be very damaging to their economy. The immediate reset to come through, and we have to keep in mind, even the previous round that they did win, they didn't have the money to purchase up an AWP, so they were putting all of their money into the bank, into the piggy bank. And unfortunately for them, they're just not able to keep it maintained. GODSENT with a very clean take off that B site. And it just comes down to Disco Dolphin being able to get those early on entries.
Yeah, nothing so far is standing out from GODSENT as being really tactical per se, but yeah, it's just kind of pretty simple splits, a couple smokes, maybe a couple mollies, but when eXtatus is going to relinquish that drop position, they got to know that they're going to get pinched from GODSENT, and that's really all that they're doing right now. So it's going to be a pretty bad buy for eXtatus. They have a few options here, whether they want to force or not, but it looks like they're actually just going to save into the upcoming round. Kind of a questionable decision, given that Devil only has 1,500 and Zedco has 1,900. They won't be able to buy into the following round after this, but let's see what they can do with their limited guns and utility.
And Disco, well, he's had a taste of blood, and he's looking to get a bit more, and he might very well be gifted. And Zedco takes the peak, but unfortunately it's his own blood that he will be tasting. Doplin goes down, and that means Hampus has got enough time to be able to drop down and start moving towards that B side. They've gotten the information they needed, but Hampus has already equalized the score. Monty goes down, Twist not quite able to continue forward because Hampus is getting all the kills in the world. 3 for him already. Zedco, despite having gotten that nice little starter, will have to back off and save that M4 again. And not too much damage being dealt from the little investment that eXtatus did put. And again, as you already mentioned, this puts them in a very awkward situation moving into that next round. And Alex, talk to me about this. Without an AWP, can we expect eXtatus to be able to shut down GODSENT easily? Because as it stands, they don't really look like they're going to have the money to be able to buy that long, even if Zedco is able to keep himself alive and drop a gun for his teammate.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to bring up. I don't, given GODSENT's playstyle so far, you definitely want at least one op on the eXtatus side. All they're doing is really simple splits, they're just running out, not really any good use of nades, flashes, mollies, anything like that. And if teams are just going to peek you and come out and split you want at least one of those positions to be locked down by an op. They definitely are not going to be able to buy it into this round. Maybe, yeah, it looks like we're going to be seeing actually another pistol buy here, so kind of a weird half buy and then another half buy. Don't have big hopes for eXtatus in this round, and I really wish we would have seen more out of them to start this half, given that this is their map pick. Following map is Mirage, which is GODSENT's pick. But, gonna be actually seeing a B stack, knowing that GODSENT do love to go to this bomb site, so just 5-man.
It might just end up working out for them, but he turned around and Devil doesn't want to do that. Freddy B gets 3, but he will be taken down. That's Questone to do the job, and Pit has to now step up and finish the round. Getting practically simultaneous kills with Twist. They're able to clean the house. Freddy B, first of all, finding the man turned around from him. Stabs him in the back and continues forward to spray down 2 in drop. Beautiful long-range spray from him, I have to say. Anti-eco or not, that's very cleanly done. And eXtatus, again, you mentioned it, no AWP coming out from them and a single kit on their hands, so rotation will be a bit of an issue unless Monty's able to position himself in a situation where he's almost definitely going to stay alive. GODSENT, though, they've already indicated their tendencies to go towards that B side, and once again, they're setting up for that. No particular signs that they want to go for a slow default, and Frozen will be able to find Doplin. That should be the key for the cue for them to go on.
Yeah, Doplin just pushing a smoke there, just a single flashbang. Starting to get a little plucky on the side of GODSENT, and they're going to start getting punished for it. eXtatus finally using a pretty good setup there to set Monty up, smoking the deep doorway here, and unable to get the op. Definitely would have helped him into this round, and now eXtatus, a good round on their part, but potential for reset once again if GODSENT are able to get anything, and see what happens.
That would be absolutely tragic. And Alex, talk to me a little bit about what's going wrong with GODSENT, and how do they lose out exactly by not going for the default that we normally see teams in the current metagame going for?
Yeah, they definitely gave eXtatus just a little bit too much respect in that round. They probably thought that eXtatus would throw something their way. eXtatus did do that, and their slower default was unable to capitalize on Monty just peeking the platform area of the B-bomb site.
Well, able to find another one once again. It's Hampus to go down. The clash is coming out, and Zedco's, I've got to say, his positioning has been on point so far in being able to get that early kill. It's surprising enough that eXtatus is losing so many rounds despite them getting the first kill so many times.
Yeah, despite getting that opening kill, usually GODSENT's been really good at trading kills out and just swarming the bomb site with that opening space, but in this round and the previous one, the solo kill happened completely away from the rest of the team, and now it's just a pretty standard 4v5, no real advantages or map control for GODSENT. But as I say this, Docklin's going to be moving up, he's actually going to be finding the kill on Zedco and getting really close to this A-bomb site.
That should make things a little bit more complicated. Freddy B with the 2 well-timed flashes is going to be able to blind one, but it's Frozen from the side to make sure he's done. Questone again being traded away because Twist is ready to make sure that GODSENT will be able to stay and reset, but unfortunately for him, that's not going to happen just quite yet. Monty, the hero of the previous round, will not be able to finish this one off as Bit will seal the deal and take GODSENT to a 7th, and eXtatus will be reset once again. What an absolute travesty.
Yeah, that's a real shame. After eXtatus had what looked to be momentum from the previous round, was completely shut down by GODSENT in this one. It was a close round at the end of the day, but eXtatus now with no money, 3 USPs, 2 CZs, just a couple of flashbangs, no one even with armor at this point. It's going to be really hard against GODSENT, and seemingly scrimmy kind of plays coming out.
Oh,
Twist with a really nice shot on Frozen there, barely spotted him.
Lovely. But yeah, I mean, eXtatus, they're in double eco territory. That's the most worrying thing at this stage. It's not just double eco territory. It's the fact that even, I suppose Frozen can go for the AWP in the next round, assuming that they lose this and that they don't manage to miraculously win this one out. But it's going to be so difficult for him. No utility to back him up. His teammates aren't going to have much utility either, so he's not even counting them. Questone walks into the open, and well, that's not really a great idea up against the AKs of Disco and Freddy, as they're able to very quickly clean out the A side, make way, and Bit on the other side will be able to probably finish as well as he locates him, and a few more bullets will do the job.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling the eXtatus first half here. A lot of just contact plays for GODSENT, that play in particular. It was just 3 up long, 1 up slope area, and no real, again, not many nades even thrown, just a smoke for door. They're just ready to take the duels. They're going to trade off each other. Their spacing looks actually amazing right now, and if they're able to just keep that up, I don't see eXtatus winning this because GODSENT is winning nearly every aim duel across every bomb site.
Well, it's 5 rifles, but those rifles are poor men's rifles. A couple of players have head armor, and I do not really like that in the slightest, but we can talk about that later on because the action started. Devils found one, and again, they get the opening pick, but Hampus from this side, he's been playing drop so well, but he turns around and Monty gets 2, switches out his guns, has the USB in his hand for now, but he needs to switch away, though Frozen will be there to step up and almost finishes off Twist as well, but it will be Zedco to come from the side and get the headshot to seal the deal, finish off the round, bring eXtatus back in a very unlikely round. And that's something you talked about earlier on, that GODSENT spacing had been so incredibly effective so far because they've always had the proper lurk on the other side. They've always had this player who's able to come down through drop, normally Hampus, who's been playing that, get a couple of kills, but it really seemed like they were a lot more clustered and uncoordinated in that round, and eXtatus was able to punish it.
Yeah, GODSENT there, again, showing no respect to eXtatus. Through the drop position, they were trying to just plow their way through a smoke, and it doesn't even seem like GODSENT cares what utility is being thrown at them. They still have their game plan, which is just to run out, and Monty there was able to capitalize on that, as he was able to get several kills out of people coming out of E-Box, and yeah, they're just kind of running through a smoke, just thinking that the eXtatus members can't shoot them back, but eXtatus starting to get their aim. Freddy, though, able to find the opening pick from drop once again. No aggression being thrown at him, no smokes to stop him from getting that pick. They're going to be splitting the bomb once again.
Devil, though, got 1, moves on for the second, but he's got 3 on his mind, and for him, his mind and his destiny might not be matching too much right now. But as I say, that Doppler might just take a peek. He's very weak. Wilson's already found 1. Devil, what just happened over there? Fine Twist almost flicks towards Doppler, and the way they're able to play it off of each other means that Zedco doesn't even need to make his way over from the other side. They're able to clean the house, and GODSENT not able to get a plant. Now they don't have money to speak of for themselves.
Yeah, finally things going the way of eXtatus, able to string a couple rounds together, and that's going to put them in pretty good territories. If they're able to clean this one out without too many fatalities on their end, it's going to definitely look good for them for the rest of this half. And despite being really outmatched, it looked like, for the first couple rounds, I think the players have warmed up quite a bit, as they're getting quite a few kills and seemingly winning the duels. I think GODSENT, though, starting to show too little respect there. Twist was just kind of standing out in the open on the platform area. Not a usual angle you're going to be seeing from an Opper. And
absolutely. He got on top of the wall.
Yeah, that's just going to leave you completely open. And eXtatus members were totally able to capitalize on top of that.
Look at this though, Frozen, that is lovely stuff. He's realizing that they know where he normally stands, and so he switches over sides, dodges the flashbang, is able to get 2 kills, leaves up for a third, and that will be spelling the end of a round, as a flick will ensure that Bit will die quick.
Yeah, these guys are really coming online now. Maybe a little shaky in the beginning, maybe a little nervous. This is them trying to get into Pro League. GODSENT here, just here, trying to maintain their position, but eXtatus is finally starting to warm up.
And they are getting very hot indeed, and this is where the problems start to set in. GODSENT doesn't have enough money to buy up that AWP that was serving them so well in the hands of Chris, and what do they do now is the question. Utility running a little bit low, and they've already used quite a bit of it as well, so these takes will be harder. And I love the adjustment coming out from eXtatus, just making sure that Frozen is the only player over towards that A side, making Zedco play mid instead. And that's just a lovely adjustment that's going to allow them to make sure that if GODSENT want to go for their tried and tested method of just coming down drop and Hampus massacring everyone, that's just not going to be able to happen. Zedco, though, making his way over. Nice little rotation. Doppelin will be able to punish it, but the information is gone, and Frozen is not located yet. But Hampus will indeed find him and demolish him in a duel. And Incendiary to follow through will be blocking out the rotate, and he makes it too. He has been an absolute beast so far. And well, Monty and Devil are going to be beasts as well, but the type of beasts that run away with their tails between their legs.
Yeah, just as we were saying, eXtatus was getting hot, another contact play coming out from GODSENT is going to get them onto that A bomb site. And what's kind of beautiful about GODSENT's plays so far is that they are just simple, they're just contact, they're just walking up, they're finding the CT, taking the fight, usually winning the fight, is that in the post-plant situation, because they're not expending so much utility during the mid-round, they're able to just secure these rounds. There's no chance eXtatus is going to get back into this. They throw, I think, 2 or maybe even 3 Molotovs towards the heaven position, another one towards the murder hole position, and there was just no way eXtatus were going to get back into that round. And looks like they're going to be trying to even it up, though, into this last round of the half.
And what a round this will be. eXtatus will be perfectly happy getting 6 rounds, to be honest. And now, for the first time in the entire first half, they are able to pick up an AWP that they themselves have purchased. Frozen will have that. He will lead the charge, but that's a flashbang to immediately turn him around and set him back on his feet, back towards that A side. That's in Zedco's position. He's got an aggressive over towards this A long area. The smoke will be blocking off Freddy and Disco for now. Devil to find the first contact. Bit goes down, and I can't say this means very much because so far, eXtatus, I have to say, they've gotten the first kill in at least 5 or 6 rounds that they have lost so far. So that really doesn't mean too much. GODSENT are doing a marvelous job of being able to change around their players to accommodate that. But Zedco getting a bit more information. This might be deadly for the GODSENT boys. Freddy's already been tagged down to 14. He gets the response, but the damage is done. Hampus waiting for the push to come through from Murder Hole again. That smoke will be able to block them off. Cobblestone jumps down from balcony, takes a push out. The Incendiary forces him out of position, but he won't quite die yet. Another long range. The headshot onto Freddy B to finish him off. Monty as well adds 1 to the tally, and Frozen will be able to finish things off. The boy wonder taking eXtatus to a 6th round.
Great stuff coming off from eXtatus to get this to 6-9 scoreline. Pretty good stuff to adjust to these contact plays. They started playing better setups. They started adding a little bit of their own aggression, especially towards the B bomb site, and really clean stuff actually to close out the half. And I think going into the second half, eXtatus can be happy about that, despite what looks like a terrible half and probably incoming stomp. Just evened up quite a bit as they found their kind of online legs beneath them.
I mean, you got to keep in mind, they got reset 2 times in that half, in very crucial situations as well. So if eXtatus was even a little bit luckier, or even a little bit better in stringing maybe even 2 rounds together at a time, this could be a completely different half that we see. So 9-6, it's a score you can work with from the T side of Cobblestone regardless. And GODSENT, they've got to be scratching their heads and trying to make sure that they do better on their CT side.
Yeah, given that this was eXtatus' map pick, it's very likely that they're going to have some good T-side strategies, and probably watched a few GODSENT demos. This means I'd say a lot more to them than it does to GODSENT. GODSENT, they definitely don't want to lose their Pro League spot, but eXtatus are just hungry and they really want to break in.
That is true. That is absolutely true. The hunger of a rookie is not to be underestimated. And as I say, that the hunger of a rookie will be directed towards another site rather than the one they made noise at early on. However, I do see that Monty, the man with utility, has been left over towards that A site. So that's interesting that we might be seeing a fake to come through with a couple of flashes going out from Monty to try and fake over towards the A side. Those are a lot more effective in the pistol rounds. I think they're a lot more effective in the pistol rounds, at least in terms of trying to make it seem like they are hitting that site, simply because that's where you normally see less utility, but the rotations aren't coming through, and already they've realized it's V where they are coming through. 45 seconds left on the clock, and Hampus will be going down before time runs out. Zedko, though, he's just adding more and more to his score. Frozen will be able to get the bomb plant down after a quick headshot onto Pit, and Freddy B left with a CZ that he's switched it out for a USB. Yes, he did. Interesting. 9-7.
Pretty just good preparation for eXtatus already. That kind of fake, they probably figured GODSENT were very quick to rotate on plays. However, that one player for GODSENT towards the A-bomb site was able to spot out the fake rather early, but the other utility for eXtatus, especially the molly towards Coop, was able to get them into the bomb site rather cleanly. And with all the GODSENT members playing a retake kind of style from the connector position, they were just unable to find anything, as most of their entry points were being covered quite well.
And I have to say, honestly, that's just a little bit disappointing from GODSENT regardless, when you keep in mind that they've still got 4, like, yes, I understand that it's obviously their position over towards connector, but you have 4 players on that side and you're still not able to get more than a single kill at the end of the round. That's a little bit frightening to think about. But Fritz, well, he's a little bit frightening through smokes as well. Apparently gets a nice tag down to 14 for Questone. Doesn't want to waste too many more bullets though.
Well, eXtatus going to be playing this one rather casually, slowly, and just kind of spread out thin on this default. Twist, though, is going to get aggressive here, and he's going to get taken out by Devil, luckily for eXtatus, as that would have given GODSENT quite an opening into this round. But even with that information, it looks like GODSENT are aware of eXtatus's upcoming plans, as they are all grouped towards the B-bomb site. Pretty much every player right now in the server is ready to fight on this bomb site and see who comes out on top.
And well, Freddy B, he's found a way to start things off in a very comfortable manner, but there will be no comfort in Zedko. However, Hampus doesn't have his angle checked, and that means he's now got an AK and he's got information as well, and that might be more valuable because Devil will go down as a result of it. GODSENT are able to capitalize off of a massive rudimentary mistake. eXtatus just not checking that angle, not expecting Hampus are... that's just disappointing.
Yeah, given eXtatus's advantage there, I think they bought a few too many rifles, not enough utility, and if you're going to go to the B-bomb site late into the round, it's very difficult to clear every single angle, and just Hampus in that one flat kind of cubby position was able to find quite a few kills, so much damage there, and if just one molly went his way, that never would have happened, and eXtatus got to be kicking themselves a little bit to not have invested so much into utility and instead invested into their weaponry. Not sure about their decision there.
And I mean, it's even more heartbreaking when you keep in mind that the same weaponry is now in the hands of the CT side. Twist even buying up an off this early on, which is, I have to say that that's fairly questionable. You're going up against a force by or an equal in this circumstance, but it's okay. Whatever floats your boat. And Hampus, well, he's definitely floating mine because he's just got head from Questone. Easily done, and he is lighting up the scoreboard like nothing else. I mean, 14 kills for him, and every single one of them seems to be so incredibly high impact. All of the entries on that T side from drop and all of these early kills and all of these, well, just one round where he's got that ridiculous eco round for his team practically solo, and it's just very refreshing to see from him.
Yeah, he's been putting in a lot of work on these rounds for sure, and he's trying to prove himself too. Hampus being one of the newer members to GODSENT, pretty sure that he replaced Pronax at one point. He joined the team in late December, and yeah, he's been really showing his stuff here.
Well, GODSENT will continue to show their stuff as it is going to go to an 11th round very soon. Devil and Frozen are able to take 15 seconds and turn them into a miracle, but it seems like that will not be the case. There's very few people who can turn 15 seconds into a miracle, Alex.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I never really thought about that. Yeah, another bad round for eXtatus. Unable to find really anything across the board, and GODSENT able to play that range game quite well on this map. It's not really that hard, given a lot of their long-range battles. I think Drop is probably the only forced close-range fight you can take most of the time. But Twist is actually going to be in a rather interesting spot against Crystals. As I was saying, playing that close-range battle, he's actually going to get swarmed by the eXtatus members, but Doplin is there playing a great support rifle for him. He is able to just clean them up so well, and Freddy B can just push the B-bomb side. Not afraid of really anything there, and Monty is unable to even connect a bullet with him there. And I think Twist, the only person on GODSENT even taking a point of damage that round, just a single Glock bullet connecting with him in the chest. But we're finally going to be seeing a full gun round versus gun round with eXtatus on the T side. So we're going to see what their game plan had in store for us right here.
That's a silver platter round if I've ever seen one. Just one by one walking into their crosshair. Just easy days. An easy life. But Fitz, things aren't too easy for him. He misses a smoke over towards Drop, and let's see whether or not he's going to be able to make up for his mistake. That's a nice nade, though. That is a nice nade.
Yeah, usually a lot of players are going to be pretty aware of that coming through. They're going to stand to the side maybe or something. But Frozen was just jump spotting, kind of scared of the boost from GODSENT, and took that one right to the face.
This goes right. One down, and he's able to do it. Twist was there to, sorry, not Twist, Hampus was there to back him up, and he will be able to return down to Secret and find Cobblestone. That's where he's going to be buried. And no one will know. A minute left on the clock, and with only 3 players and the same amount of utility, funnily enough, Monty, Zedco, and Frozen have got their work cut out for them. This flashbang is so incredibly important, and it becomes even harder as Zedco gets taken down by Twist. 2v5, and this is this problematic situation, because if eXtatus lose this and they save these 2 guns, then they're not going to have money on these players either, so their money will be in a mess all over the place. But right now they're making a mess all over the CT's face, as it is going to be 2 quick kills. Monty's traded away, but Frozen in a 1v2. This is entirely possible for him from his position. The only problem is that the bomb is a bit far away. 20 seconds left on the clock. He needs to move fast. He needs to move quick. And Doplin, he's got utility as well. Flashbangs in hand, but his flashbangs will be punished as he has one in hand, and that means Hampus will be able to get a bit overconfident. Both of them having the grenades in their hand at the same time means that one of them goes down, and Frozen gets it done. 3 kills from him to finish that round off. It might have been 4 in total. What a beautiful clutch coming out from him.
That was some impressive stuff from Frozen. You can tell that this kid's hand is so steady. Crosshair placement is impeccable, and even when GODSENT, or when Doplin's wide swung on him from Rock there, he was able to just trust his crosshair placement, didn't even move it a sliver, and Doplin was just walked right into it. Just really great stuff from Frozen. You are seeing why this kid is such a talent that a lot of people in the European region are looking out for, and I think he's starting to make a name for himself worldwide as well.
Well, it's a quick rush, as I'm going to have to cut you off, and Freddy B and Pitts will do the same to eXtatus. Already again back to 4. This one, though, might not have quite the same result. Devil's trying to make it happen, though. Cobblestone left alive with his Galil. We'll be able to see one nips him in the bud as Pistol. Doplin will not be partying for too much longer. Freddy B will bury Devil alongside his fallen comrade. And it is only Cobblestone left with 8 HP, and Twist is hunting for him. His AWP from the other side. The smoke might not matter. All too much. The flashbang is avoided. Cobblestone ready and waiting. A minute left for him to work with, but the sand in the hourglass is tinkling down grain by grain, and Freddy B, well, he might very well be the Reaper at the end.
Cobblestone may get the better of him here. This is just a matter of chance who actually finds who first, but as Freddy B moves into that coup position, that is going to probably seal the round for Cobblestone. I don't see him leaving that spot for much of the round, but Questone oddly gonna pick up the op and might decide to just save this here in this situation. Actually,
oh, gets the first one, needs to get the pistol out early on, but the bomb count will go down, and Freddy B, he punishes it. Questone thinking that perhaps he rotated over, not having the time to check inside the chicken coop or having the patience to go for the double plant. But very, very close from him. Nice. I love the pickup on the AWP over there to be able to make sure that he can punish Twist. Very nicely done.
yeah, if both players actually were towards the A bomb site, that would have been the correct play. Unable to find the kill in the coop, though, definitely seals his fate. And kind of a strange, just like momentum call there from eXtatus. They've been, I'm pretty sure they have a game plan here that they've been working on for quite a while, knowing that they could probably pick Cobble against GODSENT. But just feeling the rush of adrenaline from that Frozen clutch actually got them in quite a bit of trouble there as they decide to just rush the B bomb site. And GODSENT, not the most prepared team for this, but you know that their aim is going to be on point. These guys are playing every day, all day, professionals in every sense of the word, and we're just so ready for that. So many opening kills, and despite a good attempt from Questone, unable to find the round.
Round there on full blocks. One deagle actually, at a P250, but pretty much a full eco. This is worrying. 13-8. GODSENT throwing out their utility early on, and well, Questone might just be jumping into Hampus's waiting arms. Those are not gentle arms, Questone. Not the Disney movie you're looking for, because the end is death, death, and just death. That would be an interesting Disney movie, though, I have to say.
Yeah, it's going to be left on Devil, and he is in no position to win this round whatsoever. The bomb is a mile away from him. Perhaps, actually, I should say kilometers, seeing that this is being played in Europe. And he's just going to be working his way up long A, and can't really expect much of anything out of him here. One kill would be incredible, and he's actually going to be finding Hampus, but Hampus just moving around in the middle of the open, completely unworried, just trying to hunt that last kill. And Hampus is kind of just padding his HLTV stats here, I'd say. Just kind of looking for that kill. No, there's no reason for him to even be doing that whatsoever, but he just wants to take the fight to him.
I like how Alex is getting comfortable enough to inject a bit of American sass in there. Oh, you know, I'm kilometers because you know, we're casting for Europe. I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there. But we're gonna come back to the game and get back to you later on. As Frozen pushes right through, flashbang to follow, and well, Freddy B is completely blind. Hampus though is very much not, because he's able to find one, get himself back behind the statue, and Zedko has to step up. He's able to cross the drop, secured. And he's able to punish Hampus for his misdeeds. However, he himself might have been a naughty boy. And he's going to continue pushing forward. The smoke will block the path of the AWP player for now. Twist. He's making a lot of noise. And Zedko might just be wanting to push right through, go for the backstab. But it's a very, very risky decision to make, especially because Twist is now making his way back. The bomb is ticking down. 3 kits across the board, so that's not a problem. But Questone sure as hell is. He's found 2, and that leaves Twist alone in a 1 versus 3. If there was ever a man to do it, it would be him. But he's not going to be able to do too much more than bang the 2 people through the walls. Well, he's going to back off with the AWP, trying to secure it along with their economy.
Yeah, very good, just caution being exercised by eXtatus here. Not going to stay in the bomb site too long or anything, and just going to get every player out of there, despite 2 of them having 8 health and 5 health, 13 health combined, and you know, just not going to take that bomb damage. Hopefully can string some rounds together to make this a little more competitive, as this is their map pick. Mirage coming up after this. You'd really want to see eXtatus. If they have a chance in this BO3, it begins by winning on their own map.
Well, now there's a little bit of a difficult situation that eXtatus have found themselves in, because they've got to grind up quite a few rounds, but this is the chance for them to do it. If they win this one, GODSENT's money is gone. Would be a 14-10 with a position to go to 12 before they have to take on their next full gun versus gun battle. And eXtatus, they realize exactly what is on the line over here. GODSENT as well, going a little bit more calmly, going a bit more slowly. Freddy B might have actually spotted out the gun barrel as Queston moves forward. Will back off after getting the first kill through the wall. Actually, he's still hunting, and he will be successful in finding his prey and putting it to rest. 3 versus 5, and the call has been made. GODSENT realizes they may not have Pronax anymore, but it doesn't take a mastermind to know that they will be out of money if they try and take duels.
eXtatus definitely taking a page out of GODSENT's book here, as they just do a contact play up B. Perhaps there was an execute in mind there, but without having to expend really any utility, Cobblestone is able to find those 2 entries, and that's just going to put an end to the round within the first 30 seconds, and nothing really, nothing much more to say about that. Cobblestone just that's it. Sometimes that's all Counter-Strike is, just a couple headshots and you're done.
It seemed like for a lot of the early game as well on the T side for GODSENT, that's what it seemed to be. Hampus just came down, dropped, said hello, you know, greeted his new neighbors, said goodbye, and they were on their way.
Yeah, pretty professional exchange coming out on that B platform.
Pretty much, and now eXtatus, they're not able to punish GODSENT too much. They in fact just end up losing one of their own players, but this does mean that GODSENT will have to perhaps stack the 3 of their rifle players onto one side and hope that they will be able to get a quick few spray downs and get away with the round in that way, because otherwise the combination of Freddy B and Twist both not really having too much will be a huge deterrent.
Yeah, eXtatus is going to be actually probably walking into a stack here. Up to Doplin towards A to find out if anything is happening, but I think he should know by now that eXtatus is going to be going to be bombs a bit soon. But eXtatus actually kind of slowing down after throwing those nades. Going to be doing a fake here as they throw all these nades towards B. They're actually going to get into the drop position, and now that their position is aware, this is really all up to Doplin. If Doplin's able to get just a couple kills here, it gives him his team a real opportunity.
Oh.
But Devil is just a little too smart there, and he's just going to hard clear his angle out. And GODSENT still have some rifles here, but only armor on one player, Hampus that is, and probably just going to be another save coming out from them.
You gotta love that coming out from Devil, you really do. I mean, turning around saying, you know what, my teammate plays this. Frozen plays this angle, you don't. Get out of my server.
Yeah, he was just a little too wise there, and Twist actually able to find Cobblestone there, and probably gonna make eXtatus think twice about rotating through the middle position, but perhaps they're actually feeling themselves and want to check this.
Well, you know, it's always so incredibly satisfying to see a long-range double headshot coming out from the M4A4. It's just, I feel as if I need to thank the player for being able to do something that I never will be.
Yeah, and Twist was actually so willing to take that duel even without any armor. He got that M4 from another one of his teammates who passed away, and actually still was willing to take the duels head on.
I love how respectfully you say it. But anyway, 14-11 GODSENT. UMP in hand, but other than that, they're looking pretty good in terms of firepower and utility. Both of those. Twist has got his AWP. We've seen him be a pretty goddamn magical, to be honest, early on. But after that, he's been simmering down a little bit. He's cooled off, and hopefully he's going to be able to get a stove underneath him pretty soon, though. And that's going to be a good way to start things off. Questone goes down to him over in secret, and that's the information. Hampus through the smoke will be slaying Monty right there and then. An eXtatus where they were just hoping to be able to get comfortable and try and maybe establish a bit more presence over towards that B plant. They just have that plan backfire on them as they're cleaned up through the smoke.
Yeah, just having trouble taking control from GODSENT in this round. GODSENT just going to impose themselves on the eXtatus players there, and Twist and Hampus both with opening picks to make this really difficult. But eXtatus have won a couple of parties here, especially when Frozen is alive. Anything seems possible for this team, but with Zedko going down, the chances are slimming, and a perfect spray from Hampus there going to take out Frozen, and that's just kind of bad. You're not even going to see a player in the round, and you're going to get killed. Now it's up to Devil just with the off, but I'm sure he's going to save it, and Hamp is
Not a
just continue
single
spraying.
player seen. That is depressing.
Yeah, you think you're going to maybe have a chance, go for one last hurrah through the B platform, but Hampus just says, I see you, even though he is going to take him out rather easily.
I mean, if this doesn't end up on the back sucks subreddit, I will be very, very unhappy. Not surprised, but unhappy for sure.
Yeah, those are actually pretty much perfect bursts both times.
Oh yeah. Very nicely done. But smoke's going out, flashes soon to follow as well. A couple of players will be helping out quite a bit. Freddy being fit, though, already opening up and closing out the round pretty much already. 2 versus 4, and Devil is tagged down to 12. Zedko's being mollied out of position, and well, Devil's gonna go down to the flames, and Zedko will go down to 11. And 11 is enough for him to take down Pit, but Twist here's the footsteps on Disco Doppler himself, possessing an AWP. We'll just be holding things out. Flashbang to follow. Flashes himself. Zedko actually flashes him. And Zedko, well, he's got an incendiary that's going to end up revealing his own position, but at least he's not going to make the same mistake as where Chicken Coop was. Death of them. P250 in his hand, but he doesn't know where to go. He knows he's trapped between 2 smokes, and either one of them could be clearing any second now, and that when it does, he's going to be stuck in some deep water. And while deep water is there, he will drown as Twist makes sure of that. It will be GODSENT being able to take away exit map pick. And Alex, if you had to quickly sum that up in a couple of words, what went wrong, man?
I'd say GODSENT's just CT side or T side, just a little too much firepower. So I'd say that's the main issue here. A lot of times the eXtatus players had every reason and right to kill a player from GODSENT, but GODSENT would just hit a couple headshots there, and that's pretty much the round. And on that last round, even Disco Doppler, or actually Freddy was actually just trapped in that cubby position, and Monty had every reason to kill him as he peeks him, but really just not the right crosshair placement is going to be the undoing of the eXtatus players.
Well, let's see whether or not eXtatus are able to bring things back on Mirage, which is, of course, the pick of GODSENT. They will be able to start on the CT side, at least, if nothing else. And we're going to be back very soon. Remember, guys, if you haven't already, which, I mean, why would you have? There was a great game going on. Remember, you can find us on twitter.com/GGTtime for myself, twitter.com/MauiSnake for my fellow American, not really fellow American, but whatever. You can go find us over there, tweet at us what you think about the game. And we're going to be back with the second one very, very soon. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
To take something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away. I've been watching you. Just come to away. For some reason it wants to take you, having no clue you don't want to see. Things will be there, taking your hand through, and you all know you can't fall away. For some reason it wants to take you, having no clue you don't want to see. If you got
We've seen a bit of a tragedy, ladies and gentlemen, because we've just seen eXtatus have their money taken away from them again and again and again and again. Reset multiple times on their CT side of Cobblestone, losing out their own map pick. But the question is GODSENT about to get a taste of their own medicine as they are now on their map pick, starting off on that terrorist side that they had so much success on Cobblestone. Of course, Mirage, a map that is completely different. And we were talking about this a little bit, Alex, and GODSENT looked very, very puggy at the time. Not really perhaps playing it to the same extent as what we would normally expect from a team of their reputation of being tactical or so. In a map like Mirage, that doesn't really fly, does it?
Yeah, I'd say that this map, I'd say Cobble can be kind of pug, but I mean, GODSENT just showed us that it could be. Mirage is a map that I think everyone is pretty comfortable taking a lot of the aim duels on, and I think you can expect a lot of, even more of the GODSENT firepower to show itself on this map, and it's definitely going to be difficult for eXtatus, as I'm pretty sure all the GODSENT players, even when they haven't played with this set 5 before, they are still going to be able to take it to the eXtatus players.
So essentially what he's trying to say is, in short, I'm wrong. But hey, it's fine. That tends to happen occasionally. You know what? I'm not even going to talk about this analytic stuff. They've started to buy up their utility. They've started to buy up their goods. Admittedly, there's a bit of a pause and there's a few circumstances that are going on which make this transition a little bit more awkward. But they've started to buy things up. You talk about that. I'm not doing this.
Okay, so at the beginning of this round, it looks like it's going to be a pretty simple hit from GODSENT. I expect them to just kind of go B here. It's what their nades imply, but I guess we'll potentially see. Okay, it looks like they're actually going to be defaulting here, and kind of a really interesting buy for eXtatus in all things considered. 3 guys without armor, and they're starting to follow that Sean Gare's meta of thinking that pretty much no one needs armor on pistol rounds, especially after they changed the hit, like the aim punch in a recent update. It does seem less valuable nowadays to buy armor, but Pip's going to be working out underpass. It's going to get taken out by the probably best aimer from eXtatus, Frozen, who
will continue on
sharp.
for one more. And sharp is very, very true because he is cutting people all over the place along with Questone. 2-2-1 is a kill score for both him, Questone, and Zedko respectively. And eXtatus, they start things off strong despite not going for the armor as you were talking about. But I will quickly add in though, Sean Garrett was a big advocate of not getting Kevlar on 3 players on the terrorist side. I didn't know he was an advocate of it on the CT against Glocks as well, because aren't Glocks a little bit more deadly when you think about close range duels when you don't have armor?
Yeah, they definitely actually can have a little more aim punch there. That is some good knowledge on your part. He was talking about T side and how you can have some more elaborate executes with more players opting to buy grenades, but it's going to be another pretty simple puggy round for GODSENT. They're just going to be taking some mid control. This is actually showing to be slightly more strategic than their Cobble side. I think they came pretty unprepared to Cobble, but were still able to take it. They are showing that they have some coordination here. They pinched mid rather well together, despite going 1-for-1 there, but yeah, they're going to be working their way into what seems to be just an A split rather casually here as the bomb is towards the ramp. But yeah, these deagles may not look that impressive at first, but with the aim of some of these GODSENT players have been showing in the previous map.
Godly.
Yeah, Hampus has looked incredible. Doplin has been doing a lot of great shots too, but Freddy B is going to be caught looking the wrong way there at Cat, and Zetko is just going to take him out with a pretty casual dry peek.
And well, that being said, it should be a nice little quick cleanup. Disco Doppler finds 1, but it's really just down to Hampus to take the 1v2. I will say though, getting the bomb plant down over here, very important and very surprising to say the least. And Hampus making it competitive. That's what we talked about. Hampus is in the middle of Transcendence, or so it seems, but Nirvana will not be attained just quite yet. Zedko instead will be able to shoot him down, but with a lot of money being taken out of their pockets and out of their hands, eXtatus are not going to be too happy about that round.
No, a lot of damage for GODSENT, and that is exactly what you want from those kind of rounds. Of course, you would rather win the round, but getting the bomb plant down with getting 4 kills, you just really got to be happy about that. And they're going to opt to buy Deagles once again, and just that little extra money in their pocket can do significantly more damage than, let's say, a 5 Glock buy here. And if they're able to get some more kills again, it's going to get put some real reset pressure on eXtatus, and that's really what you're looking to do in these rounds. If you're not going to be winning them, just keeping the economy modest for the opposing team, and really think they have a good chance to actually do some damage here.
And that's where we have to keep in mind, it's not just the reset pressure, it's also just the fact that if you're able to get a couple of kills, those players will not have a rifle buy in the next round, and you will. Twist is saving his money. He will have that AWP. eXtatus already are practically guaranteed to not have one of their own, so you're really setting yourself up for a giant bucket of misery if you end up losing a few players. They have gained quite a bit of map control as well over towards the A side on GODSENT, but Hampus gets taken down as he's making his way out of the connector. It's all up to Disco, and he's ready to party. He's already found one, but Frozen from the firebox will be able to shoot him down. Now it's a 3 versus 2 on that B side, down to Zenko to try and spray down a few as they cross over, and he will be able to do so. Freddy B finds one, and again, this is a lot of damage. Oh my god, Freddy B. What are you doing to me? I mean, really, what are you doing to me?
Just so
Two
much
quick
raw
kills.
skill for GODSENT.
And they're showing that their players have definitely got their heads in the right place, but can Freddy B continue forward for another one, or will Monty be able to wind out from the side and shut it down? 15 seconds on the clock, and it's not going to work out in his favor. Freddy B slowly moving forward towards window. Here's the bullets coming his way, trying to shoot through the bench. Will be able to find one more, and that's a bomb plot. Are you kidding me? This should never happen. They get 4 kills again, and the bomb gets planted down. This is upsetting me. eXtatus, what is going on in your squad?
Despite winning 3 rounds in a row, it really doesn't feel like it, as eXtatus have just no money to show for it, and GODSENT have just what looks to be even more. They have more firepower than eXtatus do. They actually have a better economy right now, with every player having full utility. Quest Zone has no nades, neither does Zedco, and kind of interested to see what eXtatus decided to do given such low utility, and it looks like it's going to be an aggressive mid-play start.
Quest Zone.
Immediately, and
Quest Zone.
that's going to definitely even things out, and that's what you really have to do sometimes when you have no money on your side. Get aggressive in the face of the team.
You know what they say, man. Money can't buy skill, even if that isn't true for FaZe. 3-0 will very quickly be turned into 4. Twist is left alone to try and fight off the rest of eXtatus. Oh, nicely done. That was so nice. Did you see what they did there with Questone trying to fire through the moss, the sound of a flashbang being pulled? Because the pin obviously makes sound from when you pull it out from the flashbang and throw it away. So to make sure that Twist can't actually hear it, and he is scoped in and will end up being affected by that flashbang, they spray into the wall, make sure that he's not going to be able to do too much damage to them. And eXtatus, they're able to keep a few more players alive and help their own economy out quite a bit.
Yeah, and despite all the moral victories going to GODSENT in the previous rounds, eXtatus were able to finally get a really clean victory there. And what matters at the end of the day isn't moral victories, it's who actually wins the rounds.
It's actual victories.
Exactly, and now eXtatus 4-0 here, looking really in command of this game. If they're able to get another clean one here, as it looks like their utility is...
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, it's just gonna get stopped right in their tracks now. Questone
Yeah,
probably gonna get a
has
farm
got the
fest here.
AWP, 2 kills for him. And Questone, well, he doesn't care if there's a man right next to him. He's gonna kiss him in the face with his lead. And well, Hampus is left alone. He's gotten 1 kill so far with his Deagle. Picks up the M4, running away. It's a 1 versus 2, and I have to say, Hampus, with the performance that he's been giving us so far, I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to sweep this away. Questone is fairly low as well, so the only real player to take down is Monty. Was a bit of a handful himself, don't get me wrong, but Hampus has found the nice little position to allow him to push forward. Questone might not realize it, but it doesn't matter even if he does. He left on him, pulls out the deal. He knows headshot. Monty is underneath the van, but he doesn't get spotted, and he will get the shot. Instead, 5-0, GODSENT again. Damage has been dealt. Moral victories have been won, and money is in their favor, but can it buy them the win this time around?
Yeah, again, eXtatus have a really kind of broken buy here, but if they're able to get some early aggression again and perhaps find some opening picks, I think they have a good shot of taking this one. And they actually seem more comfortable on the Mirage CT side, despite it not being their map pick, than they did on Cobble. Cobble, they really took a while to find really any kind of success whatsoever, but Frozen just going to take the fight again towards mid.
Two as well. Oh, never mind, Freddy B. Wow, didn't that happen? Frozen not being able to get those kills, and that makes a big opening for GODSENT to take over that A side. Means that Cobblestone has to step up. He's been doing a great job so far in this map, but it has to be even better. He finds a player over towards A main, knows the next is in sandwich, and he's able to reposition himself to get that secondary kill. Freddy B now left with 8 HP, courtesy of Frozen himself, the 15-year-old.
Like we have an ESCA error. This tends to happen if these players are in another ESCA server and they are assigned a league server, but the entire group, eXtatus, I think, have a premier match technically speaking. So they are supposed to be playing these right now, but ESCA, if you are within, I think, 30 minutes of your MDL match being scheduled, it will kick you from any server you're in just to ensure that you actually join your match. But that is really actually it's actually just the most brilliant clutch Freddy B has ever pulled off in his life. That was the most amazing 1v2 I've ever seen whatsoever. How can he do this?
I mean, it's someone called Richard Lewis, man. I think there's another update to be made to integrity and fair play.
Yeah, that's gotta be match medic for sure. Freddy, I don't really think he had much of a chance in that one. He's probably just gonna get traded by the second player. Maybe he catches one off guard. Very unlikely he's gonna catch two. And with only, I think, 18 HP at the end of that round, yeah, really probably nothing was gonna happen there for him.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is I had all of my fire put out. I was ready to hype it up, take it into that 1v2 zone with only 8 HP left. I mean, just wait for the flick to come out from Freddy. And let's just say Freddy's got his ways.
Yeah, he's master of the clutch indeed.
The master of the clutch indeed. Zepnik's move aside, Astralis, you need roster moves. Anyway, obviously it's going to be Zepnik's slave. Have you heard the news, by the way? Apparently, Taz is confirmed to be leaving. Of course, this is just a preemptive report filed by our local investigative journalist, but he's generally fairly reliable. Decay is.
Yeah, Decay hasn't been wrong very often, and so you gotta put some stock into it. Kind of interesting, I'd say. Taz has, I mean, there's a lot of faces of the Verse Pro org and team. I'd say, I mean, there are other faces. Neo's the face of it. Pasha definitely is, I'd say, probably the fan favorite.
Pretty sure Pasha's all the body.
Yeah, and so it is sad if this is true, but I think some kind of change has been needed for a while now. And the fact that they came in top 4 at the last major was such a surprise and shocked, probably even them, that I kind of delayed or stalled these inevitable changes that needed to happen. Another news.
I mean, let's be realistic, though. You can get to that in a second, but let's be realistic. Epicenter was ridiculous. That's what really shocked us. Not the major, it was Epicenter that shocked us. Because VP at a major, you can believe it. VP at anything else when they're in a slump, dear God, what got into you then?
Yeah, that was actually an incredible BO5 between them and SK to end things. But I bet if they won that, I don't know if we would have been seeing these kind of moves. Maybe they would have even done better at the major with all that motivation. But coming in second, if you're not first, you're last to some people. But apparently KNG though is gonna get moved off of 100 Thieves too. I think that's pretty interesting.
I think it's better if we don't talk about that on an ESL stream. We might just start uncovering some controversial opinions amongst the two of us. because that's a bit of a controversial topic. You know, that's not as widely accepted as VP needing roster changes.
Yeah, I'm not. As a just strictly speaking, as a player, I thought KNG was pretty phenomenal. So
Oh,
it's a shame.
absolutely. He's definitely one of the best up and coming talents from Brazil that we have actually seen. It's crazy how he was able to just show up out of nowhere, take control of the major in a way that, you know, we've never been able to even. I have to say that I can't remember a time before that we've seen a player just take control of a major like that, other than maybe Dennis being introduced into Fnatic, and even that was after they'd already won quite a few tournaments. Immortals, that was their run. They qualified for the major. They for the first time ever, if I'm not wrong, and KNG gets to the final, and undoubtedly the best player on his team at the time. Obviously, you can make a case for the in-game leader or the support player. You know, Steel and Bolts, both of those players, very, very good in their own right. But Kenji, as far as pure star power went, he was looking fancy. Let's just put it
Really
that way.
impressive. Yeah, really impressive. So, if you guys are just joining us, we are paused right now because the eXtatus players have all disconnected. It looks like the ESCA client has kicked them from the server because they have an MDL match probably coming up shortly. Despite this being their relegation match, they still are technically in MDL. That is the Mountain Dew League. And yeah, they're just unable to rejoin, it seems like. But we are your hosts, casters. I am at Maui Snake on Twitter and joined by GG Tea Time. So if you are enjoying what you're hearing here,
What a goddamn
drop a
show.
follow. Drop
What
a
a
follow.
goddamn shill. Remember to tweet at us as well with the hashtag pause for ESL. You got to do it right, man. You got to do it right.
I feel like I've been involved in a few of these kind of things where games just don't go on. This has happened to me. I don't know if it's just my luck or what, but
Don't worry
it
about
seems
it.
to
You
always
know,
happen.
you get to spend more time with me, and you know what could ever be better than that? Even though you just woke up a little while ago, and it's a bit past midnight for me, but hey, it's fine. What time was it for you over there?
It's actually 8 a.m. pretty much, or it's like 9 a.m. now in Hawaii. And yeah, okay, we're gonna be
That's a
seeing
shame.
them rejoining though. Oh,
We're
actually,
having
the
the
map
server
is gonna
get
get reset.
Well, it's gonna be live in a few seconds. We've been told. I have been told at least. And we're going to be able to get back into it. To those of you who have forgotten what was going on, it was a 2-1. Freddie B was down to 8 HP. Well, they might be replaying that round regardless because he did have a bit of a chance, even if it was just a sliver. However, the game's going to be getting back into it, and we will find out whether they will be at a 5-0 or a 6-0 eXtatus. Will still be in a very favorable position regardless. And I have to say, I am more than a little bit jealous of your ability to be able to pronounce their name correctly because I can never get it right. I'm always trying to say eXtatus while I'm casting it, but it just doesn't happen. It's eXtatus.
eXtatus. eXtatus.
No. I was joking. I was saying that you pronounce it correctly, not me. Please
Oh,
don't
okay,
ruin
okay.
yourself because of me as well. That's happened in the past.
eXtatus.
Pronunciation is really a caster's bane.
Yeah, it can be. Sometimes people's names are pretty hard. So
Oh,
at
absolutely.
live events, you can ask them, but if you're not, you're just working with old VODs. And if someone in an old VOD pronounced something incorrectly, you're just kind of SOL.
Well, what a shame. Can't really do too much about it. But hey, we're going to be getting back into the game pretty soon. And I have to say, it's been a massive turnaround from what we saw in the first map so far. GODSENT in the first one made it look like eXtatus were, well, let's just say, headless children on the CT side, and they weren't really able to do too much against the Puggy style that GODSENT was bringing to the table. But now it really seems as if the shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah, it's eXtatus is playing rather well now on the CT side, mixing in their own aggression with some passive play on the bomb side. They're usually just fighting for that mid control, and yeah, it's turning out rather well for them. Just gonna put that out there. I think You need to reconnect. You might need to reconnect because if you just sit in it, it won't
I'm in it.
show up.
I
with
can see it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so never mind. I just got told again that the players aren't live. I was under the impression that the players were live. I was reading an older message, but they will be very soon. So that's
Right.
we've got that going for us. But of course, so we've talked quite a bit about Mirage and how it functions and how you're able to be a lot puggier. But a lot of the puggy nature of Mirage comes from being able to take over mid, or at least so I believe. And that's something that we've seen so far that's interesting from eXtatus. They've had 2 rounds in particular where, because of their economic deficit, they've sent a couple of players up mid aggressively, and that aggressive push has panned out very effectively for them. First of all, it was Cobblestone with his farmers being able to find a couple of kills, and like I have to say, massive props to them. But at the same time, these are some things that you generally expect on Mirage, don't you? When you know that the other team's economy will be down in the dumps, and with what a good job GODSENT was able to do after losing the pistol round of keeping that money down, you'd really expect them to perhaps be a bit more prepared.
Yeah, I think that well, this isn't the normal GODSENT lineup, so you got to give them a little bit of slack here. But yeah, you would expect some kind of aggressive plays more often than not on Mirage. On Cobble, I think maybe shifting over from playing Cobble, you don't really expect CT aggression, so it takes you just maybe one round to get that mindset back that oh yeah, the CTs can push us and we can't just get control of the entire map. So maybe just a little bit of adjusting to be done. But I say this, but GODSENT still got surprised by Frozen pushing up mid on the round after that. So it's kind of just coming down to some pretty pure aim duels towards mid, as I don't think there's too much utility coming out from either side during these opening engagements, other than maybe a top mid smoke or maybe just one flash here and there. Nothing. Actually, I haven't even been seeing anyone really flash when they're taking kills. They're just fighting.
That's a big issue that I have so far. But let's quickly touch on something you brought up, that after a map like Cobblestone, you don't really expect that CT side aggression, and it really does make you respect how unique of a map Cobblestone is, as being possibly one of the only maps in Counter-Strike. I would even go as far as saying possibly one of the only few maps in Counter-Strike history to start off with the terrorist side being the team that has the entirety of map control, and that's just so incredibly different to all of the other sides where the CTs have a lot more flexibility in terms of distributing themselves across the map early on.
Yeah, it is. It is really different. Some teams really like that. I think a lot of kind of teams that are known to be more tactical generally like that. I think Assault is one that doesn't like Cobble. Yeah, North likes it. Gambit really liked it, and just kind of more of those slower paced teams tend to like it because you don't really have to worry as much about CTs getting aggressive in the mid round and retaking that map control from you, or at least even fighting for it. There's not much they can even do with it, but Mirage, on the other hand, it's pretty much a constant fight for mid, and if the CTs are all trapped in their bomb sites or their own CT spawn, it's very unlikely that they're going to be coming out with a win in a round. But eXtatus are just going to be pushing right into mid on a lot of these rounds, getting that map control, getting not only information but kills, and has been giving themselves some just huge advantages. Even though their bomb site holds have been just kind of rather, they're so-so, I suppose. On the round before this all, just everyone got disconnected, the players from GODSENT were able to just kind of walk out A and get a few frags as the mid fight was going on. So their site hold doesn't seem that extraordinary, but the fact that they're so confident in taking mid control is just allowing them just a lot more than Cobble was able to give them.
And since we're already discussing it, how they're feeling so confident taking over mid control, I'd honestly really like to see GODSENT maybe play off of connector a little bit more, because that's where things get a bit interesting. If you're able to get on towards behind the cart area where you can smoke off connector from the A site instead, it gives you a lot more space to play around, and it gives you a lot more space to be able to shut down that CT side aggression early on and lock them inside their sites, and be able to use your puggy style to be able to find duels, win them potentially, because we've seen Hampus and Freddy, they've been going absolute god mode right now. despite what the round score may actually indicate, they've been playing incredibly well. And when you're able to do that, and when you're able to take control of connector, you essentially have the map on lockdown for the CTs, and their rotationary options are limited towards just being able to move from CT spawn. And that's something that we see a lot of the T-side teams doing, a little bit less so now immediately, but a couple of months ago, connector control was all the rage in Mirage.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the best kind of flank. Like it just control by controlling connector, you control so much of the map. You control the ladder, you control window, you control mid. You're basically ready to flank A at any given moment. Also, if you have several guys in there, one can be watching cat. That cuts off a really fast rotation from B, and just kind of forces CTs to just have to hold back and just play retake style. On the other hand, something we haven't seen from eXtatus that I hope comes out is that they go for map control on extremities. They've been really exerting themselves towards the middle area, but haven't really seen any kind of aggression towards Palace or A ramp or even B apartments or underpass. And those are all really viable push spots. You get a couple guys there, use a Molotov and a flashbang at pretty much any of those spots, and you're going to get control of it. So they could be playing their CT side a lot more dynamically, but if their whole CT side is just based around just keeping GODSENT out of that connector position you were mentioning, then I think GODSENT's going to be able to adjust rather soon. You know, that's what separates pros from amateurs, their ability to see a situation and know what to do in it.
Does that make us pros? Because we're dealing with a situation that's new.
Well, we're not playing. We're not the ones playing.
It's still costing. Are we pro costers then? I mean, let me have something. I don't have the skill to play the game. I don't have the location to go to events. At least let me have the small victory. You're making me cry a little bit, Alex.
Okay, maybe a coach position is in your future, and if you can figure those things out and find out how to adapt for your team.
Alex, I've literally been asking you how exactly teams are setting up because I can't understand the game of Counter-Strike beyond just being able to scream whenever I get excited. A coach position being in my future would be like saying a coaching position after Heroic is in Peacemaker's future.
Yeah,
But enough about that. We're going to move on from that as quickly as possible. However, we're going to be getting back into the game very soon. I've gotten some news from the ESL side that we should be live in 1 or 2 minutes. Of course, that was 1 or 2 minutes ago, but
I believe them this time.
It'll come over soon.
I believe it.
Absolutely. Right. So, anyway, enough about that. The question now is, what's the third map? Because eXtatus, they've been showing a pretty good showing, and if they're able to continue the way that they are, I can easily see them being able to take this map pick away. I think it was Overpass, the last one. So Overpass as
Train.
a map.
I think it's Train actually.
Train?
Yeah, Train.
Train. Okay, so Train as a map is actually one I casted just yesterday, and Nico from Heroic plays that B spot like an absolute champion. It's very interesting the way he does it. It's basically simply that he's actually left entirely alone on that B side of Train, and I'm hoping that we're going to see Frozen actually playing this exact same position, even though Frozen is perhaps a bit more of a star than Nico would be considered. But if you put Frozen over towards the B side behind the bomb train, being able to play around the angles where you can spot players from CT, from Catwalk coming through, players from Ramp coming through, and he's able to use his smokes and his Molotov to be able to block off one entrance and just try and be what devices with his AWP on Train and just rotate around as much as possible. So that would be very interesting to see, should it actually get to that point, if eXtatus are able to actually get a quick map out from GODSENT despite their map pick. Now, it does seem like we're going to be getting into the game very shortly because all players are on the server, as you can see. So we've got that to look forward to for us, at least. I've got confirmation. Game will start in about 60 seconds.
Good to hear.
But to those of you who don't know what's going on, a quick recap. eXtatus were able to clean out the first 5 rounds from underneath GODSENT. They were on the verge of getting the 6th when suddenly Freddie B, oh my goodness gracious. When Freddie B was able to pull off the most historic clutch I have ever seen in CSGO history by crashing the server and making it seem so that GODSENT had won around. However, that was not the case, and so far GODSENT is yet to break onto the scoreboard and win a round on their terrorist side of Mirage, despite it being their map pick and despite us expecting a little bit more coming out from them, courtesy of their pugging style that they were showing on Mirage. And I have to say, the firepower has still been looking pretty damn good right now. So I'm slightly surprised that they have been overwhelmed to the same extent as it has been happening so far.
Yeah, these eco rounds for GODSENT have looked rather impressive. Freddie B had that almost clutch. I think he got 3 with his Deagle, or maybe 2 with the Deagle, 1 with an M4 that he picked up, and I forgot who had a really stellar round the other time. But yeah, just some really, really close rounds. Even when the pretty much everything is favored eXtatus in a lot of them. The individual talent lies in GODSENT's favor for sure. I don't think there's really any question about that. It's whether or not the execution from eXtatus will be able to just kind of beat that GODSENT ability.
Well, I mean, you know what we can talk about? We can actually talk about the fact that there have been certain rule changes that mean that players underneath the age of 16 can't actually play in Pro League or the MDL anymore. And that's, I've got to say that is signaling something for Frozen. Because if I'm not wrong, he is still 15, the prodigy of eXtatus. He might not be able to play in Pro League for quite a while, and that's got to be heartbreaking as a player.
Yeah, without a doubt. We just saw it happen in the North American premiere scene that Snakes, one of the better clutcher players for Soar Gaming, they just won an A premiere, and now he's gonna have to play ESEA main, and that's what he's doing right now. So Frozen does turn 16 though in July, so I actually think eXtatus are just going to keep him around because Pro League isn't going to start up for a couple months, and that's going to maybe give enough time for Frozen to just stay on this eXtatus roster and play as soon as their first match starts. I don't know exactly when Pro League does start, but it is going to be a while from now. Although MDL is starting right now, so if they do not qualify for Pro League, then Frozen would be he would
be forced to not play in MDL.
Yeah, he would have to play main, yeah.
With that being said, the game should be live very, very soon. A quick notice to all of you who are watching right now, the round score will be incorrect, and it will be fixed as we move on after the first round. The first round will be showing us a 0-0. As soon as that one's over, we're going to be back to the old score. We left it at a 5-0. It was about to be a 6-0, but ESL hasn't told me whether we're starting on a 5-0 or a 6-0. But with the way things are starting off, with them having bought up and Zedko getting quite a few kills early on, I'm going to have to assume this was the 5-0 start. However, 2 versus 4 very quickly turned into a 1 versus 3 as Twist is able to get a 180 on a Frozen. Means that eXtatus boys have got the same situation as before, but with one more player to work with. It's a 3 versus 1 instead of a 2 versus 1, and Twist, well, he might be the player you want to have in the circumstances, but an ace clutch to come out from him might be a bit too much to expect.
Yeah, this looks pretty tough for him. Quest Zone is in a great position towards B right now. That should catch Twist off. He's just jump spotting through this little sliver on the bomb site itself, and he is probably going to be able to take Twist out unless Twist is able to get the jump on him. And I think we're about to see that engagement here. He's actually going to be able to find the kill. He's going to at least get a bomb plant down for his team, which will help their economy out.
And Twist is ready to rumble. He's thrown out the Molotov, backs off successfully. They don't know exactly where he is. They do know that he has to be on this side, though, so you should expect them to come out with their guns blazing. However, if they peek one by one, or if they're a bit too far apart, this will be a problematic situation, and it already has developed. Devil with the AWP from the other side. They're playing a game of chicken, and Devil pulls out his pistol. Oh my god, that's an ace clutch coming out from Twist.
Just incredible stuff coming out from Twist there. Surprising that he was able to get the jump on Quest Zone. Quest Zone was set up perfectly for it. He second-guessed his position on that B bomb site, and that allowed Twist to get onto the bomb site, and in doing so, able to win that 1v2 as well. And I think we're seeing actually the score at the top now, 5-1, and this, I think, is the actual score line here. I guess that 5-0 1v2 is not to be played out, but another clutch is going to come out for Twist here.
Yeah, the 1v5, pretty much, I'm okay with that. You know, I think that's perfectly acceptable as a situation to get yourself out of 19 HP, and the man does it. I'm not taking that away from him. However, Monty will want to do the same. GODSENT though 1-5, and they've reset the money. Freddy B pushing forward. The flashbang will be avoided by his own teammate. Monty's found one, but it's traded away with 2. Freddy will continue forward. Devil will be able to spray him down to 5 points of HP, but 5 is more than Monty needs. Freddy needs 4 more than he needs to be precise. However, Frozen, look at you, could prevent the bomb plant from coming through, gets a first gun, turns around, could get the second, and indeed he does. Makes it possible for Questone. If he can just pick up that gun from the other side, and he will indeed do so. It's only a farmhouse, and he's forced to reload. That gives enough time, and even the smoke actually working out in his favor because it isolates the player over in ticket booth. Frozen might have just given them a ticket back into this. Disco Doppelin though, well, he's not going to punch it, and he is the goddamn conductor.
Yeah, that smoke actually really hurt the GODSENT players. Kind of a weird, just peek following it. To get on top of Toll Booth, you are giving the CT a 1v1 there. I know there's a surprise factor by getting on the Toll Booth, but that's absolutely what you do not want to be doing in that situation, giving up free 1v1s to a player, and a motivated player at that, on the side of eXtatus. So, it'll be a really pretty poor buy here for the eXtatus team, and probably just a pretty simple anti-eco here, as it's going to be a B split. Campus is going to be making his way up short, getting a pretty easy kill on Zedco, and it's going to be a farm round really for them, because Pith is now getting more kills with the map.
This is uncomfortable, let's be realistic. This is very uncomfortable to see, because eXtatus will... Not only will they just concede a massive amount of economy, eXtatus, yes. Not only will they concede a massive amount of economy over towards GODSENT, they're doing so in a circumstance right after a pause. So not only have you had all of the heat taken away from you that you were packing, it's also now GODSENT's turn to say, you know what, we've reset. We were playing well before. Now all we need to do is be able to make sure that we can go that one extra footstep that we needed to get these rounds, and they are getting them. And now with eXtatus down to 5 rifles, very little utility, not a single Molotov on them. They're pushing up mid, and GODSENT has avoided it entirely. They're setting up for what looks to be an ace line execute with 2 players blocking off Connector and Stairs, and the other 3 coming out from Palace. We've seen this before, and it's all down to Monty to actually stop it from happening. Despite the players who have already made their way to jungle, they will not be able to do too much because of the smoke. Devil pushes through, trying to get the spray down early on, but it's not going to happen. Frozen is holding a bit of an angle, but it will be blocked out courtesy of that Molotov. He has to back himself up. Monty finds one. Monty makes it. 2 CT spawn is his domain, as it's 2 more from Frozen. They're going to be able to seal the deal very quickly. GODSENT have been home sent. 6-3, GODSENT, oh dear.
Yeah, kind of a free buy though for GODSENT. Not obviously, not something you want to do, just lose around. But they had 2 Mac 10s there. They can still buy into this upcoming round, and if they do, eXtatus's money is going to be pretty much broken.
Well, the problem that I have, the biggest problem that I have, is eXtatus keep all 5 players alive.
That is true, but their money still isn't actually... It's not that is true. Good.
That's true.
It's pretty...
Fair enough. They had a pretty poor economic situation before as well. And now, 6-3, eXtatus. Hampus is going to be brought down to a nade, or even basically to a whisper from a CT. Well, Twist has got more than a whisper into the air of Quest, though. It's a nice little bullet from the AWP. I'd like to be able to say I knew the caliber of that gun, but I'm just assuming it's a big caliber. Big bullet from that.
It is definitely a large caliber.
That is true. Frozen, though. He's reminding us that big things can come in small packages as well. So the little man running around, finishing people off everywhere. Almost found another player over towards that A ramp area. He played the smoke beautifully in the previous round, and he's looking to replicate the feat, but without any smokes to block him off.
Yeah, and eXtatus look pretty ready for this kind of push here, as they have 3 players towards this A bomb site. And GODSENT tried faking some presence toward B after that twist kill, but yeah, Monty is a little too ready for it. Throws a perfect Molotov. He's in a great position to hold this kind of push. He's going to get mollied out of his spot, but he's still able to get the kill on Doplin. And now GODSENT look pretty shaken up here.
I really love that position coming out from Monty. He's playing this perfectly right now. Getting over to Secret, and that's lovely. That is picture perfect play, having Frozen to cover off the tracks from Palace despite the Molotov coming through. He keeps his cool despite the heat. And with that eXtatus, they take it to a 7th round, and GODSENT, well, their money is now officially in the gutter.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them. Really relying now on Twist's op. We've seen this do magical things before, but whether he can do essentially another 1v5 is just going to be shown to us shortly.
It's a tall
here.
order. It is a very tall order. Let's just put it that way. But 7-3, Cobblestone takes the peak. He's not going to be contested by too much, as he's able to get a quick kill. Devil adds as well, and continues to do so. They're building up some confidence. That's always nice to see. Twist, however, has got he's got a chime in right now. You can't let eXtatus get away with 5 players left alive. You're probably not going to be able to save the AWP on Twist in this circumstance. At least get a few kills, if nothing else.
Yeah, I don't really like how actually GODSENT played this. Sending just 3 pistols out mid immediately. Unless you're going to find some incredible deagle headshots, and there it is, Twist getting taken down and to follow. But you should really I'd say you really would want to let the op get first contact there. Let the op try to get some picks, keep everyone else alive, because if the op has to play in a man disadvantaged situation, it's very difficult, very unlikely for that to be successful. So Twist, I think, tried going for a pick A ramp, but the rest of GODSENT just a little too hasty on just running out at mid there and just getting mowed down so easily.
I think especially when you keep in mind that, sure, another case could be made that, fine, you can have the op who's going for the trade kills, but he wasn't even doing that. He just literally let 3 of his teammates die and said, okay, I will take the peak now and lose a duel to an AK.
He was not even close to the action.
And that's obviously a massive problem in communication coming out from there. But Devil, he doesn't. It's not a problem. Communication. However, the shots will come out onto him. Pit takes him down. Zedko from the side responds, but that response might not be enough. 2 smokes will block off the bomb from being planted. The bomb will be planted, and he continues forward. Twist gets taken down. Zedko gets flashed up, though, and that allows Freddy B enough time to be able to take down Westell's Hampus as well with a picked up AWP. Might have been able to clean up the round had it not been for Zedko, who finishes both him and Pit off with 2 of the players of eXtatus still left alive. A nice attempt from GODSENT coming through with a force fire. They were able to get a plant down and 2 quick smokes to block off any aggression from that B short area, but Zedko prevails with 4 quick kills in that round.
Yeah, Zedko was able to throw a nice flash to get himself into that get right position, and as the smokes were dissolving, everyone was basically focused on his teammates. Everyone from GODSENT, that is, focused on his teammates, while he could just run up into that bomb site. The most casual flank pretty much ever.
Oh dear, Frozen misses that op shot, but he doesn't make the same mistake that Devil did last time around. He switches over to his pistol, and wow, he does go down. That's unfortunate, and so is Freddy B over towards the middle side as he gets flashed up, but not before he gets a single kill. Again, it seems like just individually taking control in duels across the map is the name of the game for GODSENT, as Doplin has found space to go down, but he's only got 6 HP. He goes up towards the ticket booth. Wants to block out a few players as he's able to spot the man and connector as well. Will not take the duel, instead moves to cut him off from the murder hole, where Zedko realizes that he is being pincered in upon and dodges the flash. Nicely done. Will be able to see the player dropping down, but that smoke will be almost useless as Doppon comes in from the flank. Murder Hole will be accessory in this circumstance.
Yeah, and that was just basically what we saw on the entire first half of Cobblestone. A lot of contact plays for GODSENT. That was just based off of Doppling getting a couple kills coming out of Palace there. Able to kill the A player towards CT spawn, gives them the entire bomb site. And despite trading evenly at mid, a lot of action here though. With a collapse from Frozen actually. Gonna be an easy...
Gotta love the guy.
easy 2K for him, but a 3v3 to start the round once again, and we're gonna have to see probably again some lurk plays coming out from GODSENT as they're pretty split up right now. And Doppler though is actually gonna decide to group up with his team, and this is the more typical play you'd see from Terrorist, just kind of a pretty even situation. Decide to group up, but Doppler again is gonna find a kill on Monty. I'm not sure how he knew that he was towards the ramp. Maybe a footstep alerted him of that positioning, but now a 3v2, and this is going to be a pretty good split for GODSENT here, as they aren't up at mid, but they kind of have control of it at this point, and now it's up to Zedco to try to find something, but Pith almost takes his head off there, but a little bit of trigger discipline is going to alert the T's that probably both players from eXtatus are on either bomb site, and this makes an easy read for them to go towards A, knowing that Zedco is back on B. This is at most one a day. Otherwise, you might be running into a stack. But yeah, rather easy mid-round call for them.
I mean, Zedco's been a bit of a beast so far in this half, but this is a tall order even from him. Pit moves forward underneath the cover of a few flashbangs, will get that bomb plant down, and now it's just preparation. They can set up a picnic outside a ramp, set a timer, as their food is going to be heated up over there on the bomb site. Never really thought about what food would be tasting like if it was cooked by explosion. But, well, Zedco is going to be able to take down Doppler with a few clean shots. If nothing else, damaging the economy of the terrorist side moving into the last round is somewhat important, keeping in mind that Freddy is down at 200. And 2 players is where it always gets a little bit more tricky. 3 is where, you know, you've got that golden number, you've got enough players to be able to buy up for everyone regardless of what happens. But 2 players, that's where things get a little bit more difficult. Utility is generally missed out here and there, and that seems to be not the case this time around, considering that those 2 players didn't have enough money to be able to buy up an AK for their teammates regardless.
Now we're going to be seeing a broken buy for eXtatus in this last round. Monty with just an MP9, no utility whatsoever. Still some kits though for eXtatus here, but GODSENT are looking strong and healthy, and they're going to just take the fight right towards ramp. And Monty, just talking trash about his MP9 a little bit, actually is going to find 2 opening kills here, and that is going to put GODSENT in a 2v5 situation. Twist and Freddy B. If it's anyone you want in a clutch situation, it is these guys, and Twist is going to be able to open things up there. Freddy is able to get a kill as well.
That is a very nice shot from Freddy.
From looking utterly hopeless to totally doable in the matter of 5 seconds. GODSENT now really have an into this round.
Pretty much summed up my love life over there, but Freddy B sitting over towards that A ramp area realized that they've got a couple of players that like to play Secret, and they've been playing Secret very effectively so far. This time, though, Questone is getting aggressive, and he wants to push through, and it's a good time to do so because Twist has already made his way over towards the mid side. You don't want to end up giving all of your map control away, but look at this, Freddy B. You can just choose to make some noise if Questone thinks that this is where they are. Oh, nicely done. Freddy spots him out right before the smoke blooms, and now Twist has got enough space to be able to continue forward, maybe find the player on the side. That's exactly what he's going to be looking to do. Instead, though, he's looking at the flank. Freddy, no, please check your angles, Freddy, because Devil is there, and he's going to be able to wreck Twist instead. 1 versus 2, Devil down very, very low, but that's why you've got Zedco to come down from the side, and lovely stuff coming out from eXtatus, I have to say. GODSENT almost make it happen if they just checked Devil's position. And it did seem like they had time, to be honest. But
yeah, they definitely did. They definitely did. Usually you'd expect the guy at default to peek you by then, but no, Devil is just going to be playing around that triple box positioning so well, and it's basically able to secure around for them. took the duel head on. I actually think if he had higher HP, he might have taken the duel right away as they're running onto the bomb site. But since he had 4, he knew he had to do something sneaky. Just one stray bullet in a firefight was going to take him out. So kind of a blessing in disguise there to be low HP. So that's going to do it for the first half here. And it's going to be 10-5 advantage for eXtatus.
Well, to those of you who are just tuning in, this is the ESL Pro League European relegation match. GODSENT are fighting in their own map to try and struggle their way back into the Pro League. And eXtatus are not going to be making it easy. At least not in this map. Last map looked a little bit easy for GODSENT, not going to lie. Cobblestone, very convincing performance from them. And Mirage, despite being their map pick, is looking a little bit more shaky. Let's see whether or not they're able to bring things back on the CT side, though, as we're going to be going live very, very shortly.
Okay, to start the pistol off, we're going to be seeing not much utility yet. I guess Twist is just going to be buying the standard kit and smoke on GODSENT's side, but quite a few nades being bought for eXtatus' side, and as we were mentioning earlier, as Sean Gers likes to do and say, you can get some really nice executes off with this kind of utility, and eXtatus can really throw GODSENT in for a fake here, as they're throwing some nades towards A already, but actually going to be going for mid control, and a nice shot from Devil buying that P250 on the pistol, starting to come into favor as he gets the kill in return.
Hampus now will take the peek through. He's found 1, makes it 2. And GODSENT, it's a nice way to start things off. Zedco, he's gotten 1. Actually, never mind, he hasn't gotten this round, but he has a chance to do so. Unfortunately for him, that chance is taken away, as Freddy B will have only one thing to say about that circumstance, and that is no.
And that is exactly what GODSENT needed, though, if they wanted to close this out in 2 maps. If they were to go down on the pistol there, likely going to be seeing something like a 13-5 scoreline coming out, but instead, they are going to be able to even this game out, 6-10. And
nice
a great shot from
Twist
to start it off. And
lovely shot from him.
Some deagles for eXtatus. They're going to try to repeat the success that GODSENT had with these weapons. Frozen is actually able to get a kill, but Hampus gets 1 in return. Still advantage for GODSENT here.
And now GODSENT, they've got to make sure that they not just maintain their round accrual rate, so to speak, and they're able to get the first 3 rounds out. They have to do it in a way that economy isn't too, oh my god, as I say that, economy can't be too much of a problem for them moving forward. Pit, please check your angle. You'd think they would learn after the amount of rounds that they've lost because of the same problem, just not checking their angles. In Cobblestone, it was eXtatus who wasn't checking for Hampus. Now it's going to be Pit, who doesn't quite respect and it doesn't quite check with the partner. Freddy B will be able to bring it back regardless, but that looked very dangerous for a little while.
Yeah, deagles on Mirage are proving to be rather difficult for anti-ecos here, as there's quite a few kills going the way of eXtatus, but GODSENT able to close it out with 2 alive. So just one-upping eXtatus a little bit, where a lot of the rounds went down to a 1v1 there. But 3 MP9s for GODSENT here. Really excited to see what they do with these, as they're going to be against a full Glock buy, just a couple flashes, and probably going to be seeing Hampus rack up a lot of cash here as he gets close towards this balcony position.
Oh, could have done so much more over there, but he goes down despite that gain. And very soon, cash will be as well. They've got the bomb plant down. That's not something you wanted to see, but if ever you didn't care too much about the bomb plant, it was this round. Now, grenades going forward, almost getting the kill. Not quite getting it, which might actually work out in their favor if they're able to get it with the MP9 instead. A bit of extra money is never going to go amiss. Freddy B with the M4 will be able to shut down Monty as he was trying to go for the flank from a murder hole. Twist, in the meanwhile, with 2 kills off his own, will be able to make sure that they get the ball defused easily. And I have to say, I do like the differences in how GODSENT bought into this round compared to how eXtatus bought into their round, because you need to remember, eXtatus as well, after winning their pistol round, they actually ended up losing out 4 players. And if you compare the two, eXtatus went for a full buy across their players. They invested everything they possibly could. They wanted to stay safe. GODSENT, though, they say, you know what, we don't care. We're going to buy 3 MP9s. 2 of those players aren't even going to have utility. We just want money in the next round to be able to buy up our AWP for Twist. We want to be able to prioritize the man who is undoubtedly our star player and have utility for the gun round instead, because that's what's going to allow us to get the first 5 rounds.
Yeah, and some just really clean anti-ecos, as you said. And a great nade to start things off for GODSENT as Devil's taking down to 16 health. But we're going to be seeing an A execute come out for eXtatus as they try to get onto this bomb site. But it is going to be guarded by Twist. And
missed the smoke. They've missed the smoke over towards stairs as well, so they have to check a few angles, and Hampus take advantage of that one, but he's done. Unfortunately for him, his teammates are getting kills across the map, and that's not where they need to be doing that. They need to get onto the side as soon as possible. That's Freddy B making his way over from a ramp. So he takes the peek, doesn't expect him out in the open, and he is caught himself. Zetko should be flashed out, but he's looking down, and he will look down on Freddy B's corpse as it is lying there waiting and rotting. Pit, AWP in hand, that's not the gun you want to have, but he will be, oh no, reveals his position, just a little bit more of a wide peek, and it would have been a 1 versus 1 that was entirely possible with his incendiary as well.
Yeah, really good post plant for eXtatus there. Surprising kills coming out from Frozen and Zedco as Frozen sprang through the triple box there and finding the kill. If that didn't go their way, I'm pretty sure GODSENT would have been able to take this, but looks like GODSENT are still going to have pretty good money coming into this round here, as all 5 players are going to either have a rifle or an AWP, whereas, well, eXtatus actually have pretty good money too, so pretty even round for both teams here. I think Pith had an MP9 last round and had to recover the op, and that took a little bit too much time on the retake, which really lowered their chances of getting it.
Well, now it's the gun round number 2. eXtatus, despite being able to pick up that particular round, if they lose this one, things are still going to be difficult for them. Money isn't great for them. And they've used a lot of utility early on in the round. And 2 of their players are sitting completely dry of utility. Flashes on a few others, but they're looking to make it quick over towards the A site. They have gained quite a bit of map control, but I love this crossfire being set up from the 2 players outside of connector. Pith is taking damage, but he's returning it in turn. Monty down to 58, Pith at 42. But the CTs are the ones who are worse for wear in terms of utility. And as I say that, eXtatus will be readying up their A side hit more likely than not. Disco's rotated it away from the crossfire setup that we saw outside of connector, and Zedco might be able to capitalize on that if he just takes the peek out early on. Hampus next to stairs has to be so damn careful. The second the smokes rain out, he's going to be taking the peek forward. Zedco realizes that he's already started to move his way through that connector and takes down Hampus. That means Disco Doppelman will be starting to rotate over. There is no smoke to go out, but he will not be able to capitalize. Only gets 1 kill, and with Frozen and Zedco chiming in the way that they are, Devil! Oh, Devil. Nice shot on Twist, and Pith is finished off.
Yeah, that was a really important duel that Zedco won. If he was not able to find that kill, definitely would have been a harder A take, and him able to push through that CT smoke as well, jumping on top of Tollbooth, just a really impressive play for him. Definitely going to be something that he's going to remember coming into this round. A lot of momentum for eXtatus right now, winning 2 gun rounds in a row, looking rather dominant on this T side actually after losing the pistol.
I mean, they're doing really, really well, which is impressive to see them being able to pull out what they have been so far. And GODSENT, if they're not able to get a couple of kills with these USPs, well, as I say that, they get kills with those USPs. Done. Brilliant. 3 kills right there. That should never happen.
Yeah, just a gap in the window smoke was just all they needed to get just even this up to a 2v2, and it looks like eXtatus still have a great reason to win this round, having the bomb planted, good post-plant positions right now. But Pith were able to hit that shot.
That was so close as well.
Would have been close, but
2 AK
probably just going to be saving
though.
those AKs. Yeah.
That's very good from a round like this. I have to say, eXtatus, they've been looking top-notch on their gun rounds. Gun versus gun, they're on point. They are getting those aim duels, they're winning them. They're getting decent tactical initiations now and then as well. Massive props there. What the hell happens to you when you're in an anti-eco? Why can't you clean this up? Because every single time we've seen them on that, they lose money and they bleed it out like nothing else.
Yeah, a lot of it's just little mistakes. Actually, I'd say utility usage has not been eXtatus's forte here. As on Cobble, we saw that they weren't really mauling out all the positions they could have. They weren't approaching slowly enough. But on this map, they just missed a window smoke. And missing that window smoke just gave GODSENT all they needed to get quite a few kills with just USBs. I think they were head stacked actually in the window position and was able to find so much damage that none of the eXtatus members were really ready for.
Twist, going for the poor man's AWP. The very poor man's AWP. Pulls out the AUG.
I don't really see this all too often.
Yeah, it's like the SG you've seen a little bit because it has the one headshot. Freddy down. Twist though with the AUG, that's surprising, especially because he's a very competent rifler too. We've seen that time and time again. He's holding a nice little angle next to the bench, sees one player dropping down. His hand will be taken right off along with Zedko's. So with a great off angle, he will be able to seal the deal and lock out that B bomb site. Finishes off eXtatus's chances in this round. 13-9 has to be the call. It has to be the scoreline moving forward. They've got money to buy again. Devil in particular has got lots and lots of money. But with him purchasing up an AWP, he might be able to have enough money to drop over an AK to a teammate. Beyond that, though, after this round, if GODSENT are able to get one more away, as Hampus quickly shuts down Questone, with them being able to keep quite a few players alive, with one more round, GODSENT could look at a 13-12.
Yeah, if eXtatus are able to get this, GODSENT's money isn't that great. Hampus would be able to buy into the upcoming, but no other player would be able to. And this is actually a really important round for eXtatus, and it's kind of weird that oh, okay, now he buys. Monty didn't have a gun for a while, and but is able to purchase one. Zedko though only with a deagle, and we're just gonna be seeing an A exec right off the bat here. Devil gonna be working towards that B bomb site, but I'm sure he's gonna be joining with his teammates shortly. And
all eyes on Freddy B though, as he's gonna be standing up on the scaffolding, waiting for the push to come. Oh, frozen. He realizes it perfectly, and he's able to punish as well. Ends up damaging his own.
Frozen hasn't seen a single player at near. He has 2 kills in this bomb site. We're going to be seeing the retake have to come out for GODSENT here. It's just some incredible opening frags. Devil, though, with a great position towards his catwalk. I guess he had to push B apps or something, but this is something you don't usually see. It really is going to put...
Absolutely. So normally what the CT opera is.
Yeah.
That's a really ridiculous round, though, coming through with Frozen, getting those 2 kills through smoke. You don't see that happening.
Like perfectly pre-aimed the guy on balcony, and if he were to just run out, he definitely would have died, and we have no idea what would happen, as Freddy B would have been in a perfect position to stop that retake. But
I remember the
Frozen's
second
gonna
kill
pre-aim
over
him
to
through the
jungle
smoke.
as well.
Yeah, I think it was his first shot too through it. He just sprayed a
Absolutely.
burst, but it was his first bullet. I'm pretty sure that connected.
Yep. But that being said, 9-14. eXtatus off the back of Devil's brilliant rotation out from B apartments, and Frozen getting some slightly ridiculous shots, honestly. They're going to be able to get themselves back in a position where GODSENT don't have much money to work with, and they are poised to win this map and take it away from them. Doppelin, though, he's got something else on his mind as he jumps down and delivers death. 3 versus 3. Guess Questone has already been tagged down a little bit. However, it's a quick kill from Devil to regain momentum and favor for themselves. However, he turns around right in time to shut down Hampus. Doesn't expect the second player, and he will be taken down. Freddy B, please. Thank God. He got enough time to be able to actually rotate out. But Freddy B, he knows that he has to get this round away. This is not a one that he can afford to lose, and he gets shot down with the MP7. He's scouted out, and he will be taken down. Questone able to get the kill. 15-9 eXtatus. They're in great position to take this round and this map away.
Yeah, pretty impressive T-side half for eXtatus here. Despite being GODSENT's map pick, they have shown quite a bit of resilience as this game has gone on. They had a hot start, had some trouble in the middle of it, but are now running away with it here as they hope to close things out. GODSENT with 3 deagles. We've seen the damage they have done with these guns before, but no kits and not much utility either. This is going to be really tough for them.
Well, eXtatus like it hard because we've seen them not really do well up anti-ecos, and we can see why. We can see why. Can't really follow them too much when Pit is getting shots like that. Freddy B taking the in and delaying the push even more, and he's not just delaying it, he is going to be making sure it doesn't come through at all. Disco Doppler, the secondary player down in secret, will be able to shut down the rest of them. GODSENT are able to cling to their chances at this map through the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, just individual skill bailing GODSENT out once again as Pith is able to get those 2 opening deagle kills. The A split that eXtatus had planned fell just at the hands of some nice deagle shots there.
And some great play from the UMP as well down in secret. Just being able to navigate its way around obstacles to ensure that he doesn't get killed too easily. Very nicely done, even though you could definitely put some of the blame on eXtatus. And as I say that, Pit is not putting any blame on eXtatus. He is thanking them for delivering him kills round after round after round. Cobblestone, though, is more than ready to take them right back. But Disco Doppler is here to collect dues.
GODSENT reading the situation so well though right now. Not over-rotating the A despite getting all their players are actually dead on A right now, but they just, with this advanced positioning from Freddy, they know that all these players are trapped in the B bomb site, but Monty's able to actually find the kill on Freddy, despite Freddy having the perfect positioning, and now it's down to Pith in a 1v3, and this is going to be hard.
That should never have happened. That should absolutely never have happened. This is what I'm talking about, though. These teams are playing so much better. Or not, maybe not better, but they're gaining a lot more ground, and they're gaining a lot more momentum on their respective force buys rather than their actual gun rounds, which is worrying moving in towards the next map if eXtatus is able to take down Pit and prevent this 1 versus 3 from realizing itself, which from the positioning that eXtatus has adopted, it does seem to be fairly likely. Devil's already posted over towards Market, and Pit is unsure about what their destination is. He has not checked their calendar. But eXtatus, they've booked a vacation spot over towards that B site. TripAdvisor says it's sunny with a chance of volcanic explosions. Pit, though, well, he's a bit of a volcanic explosion himself. Finds the first one, moving his way forward. He's on the balcony and doesn't quite realize it. Throws a grenade at the wrong side. If it was dead to right hand, however, instead it will be eXtatus able to clean up that round and the map. We're going to be moving to a short break, and when we're back, we're going to be taking it to map number 3, which will be Train. Remember, if you haven't followed us just quite yet, what are you even doing? It's at GGT time, at Maui Snake. We're going to be back very, very soon with the next game.
Like a Hellcat.
Faster. Coming like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Coming like a hell. Like a Hellcat.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you, for you, for you, for you, for you, for you,
Nie wiem, w sumie.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's map number 3. It's eXtatus. I can't pronounce it. I just can't do it. It's eXtatus and it's GODSENT. And only one of these two teams will be able to sport their way through the ESL Pro League, the most prestigious online league in all of Counter-Strike, which will be switching over towards a different streaming platform pretty soon, which I'm not sure if I can actually name that because they're technically competition. But let's just assume that I can't. That being said, this is going to be one hell of a map. We've seen both teams come out blazing in each map so far. GODSENT in the first one, able to take away eXtatus' map pick, and eXtatus able to return the favor on Mirage. They did look a little bit better, though, I have to say. Playing with a bit more form when it came to gun rounds, at least. Anti-ecos were still weak, but forget that. We've got a lovely voice who's supposed to join me at any given point at the moment, but he seems to be a bit shy again. Just shying out from the limelight. Alex, you want to chime in over here?
Yeah, we're going to be starting off the pistol here. And it's going to actually be Twist to find the first kill of this map on Zedco. Frozen, though, in a rather good position here towards this cloud area. And if he's able to find Freddy B moving up, he could make this retake doable, but actually Disco gets the first one, but Devil and Frozen finding kills in return. 3v3 situation here. Twist on the bomb site still, just in the default position, is going to get flashed by teammates.
Well, Twist is still fighting his way off from the bomb site. Pit has found one behind him. Twist will be able to quickly provide a bit of a distraction for Cobblestone to go down to the hands of Hampus instead. Was there a kit on the CT side? I did not see it.
I think there might have been, but he died at some point.
He did die
so,
at some point.
So,
all of them did die at some point.
Yeah, Hampus able to find the final kill of the pistol round. This guy has been a star throughout thus far, and we expect him to do even more in this game, as he has 90 ADR actually in this BO3 so far. And Frozen with an incredible shot.
That is
towards
ridiculous, and so is Monty as he pushes up. Pop Dog finds one. Doplin, though, he's looking around. Electric will find Cobblestone, takes him down. Frozen, though, looking to double or nothing. That's all in on him. Devil also having gone for that scout will be left alone over towards that Ivy area. Is now getting up on the green train, sees one, but Hampus is the one who returns the evil eye. You stare into the Abyss, and the Abyss stares back into you. You stare into Hampus, and Hampus fires back into you.
Good reference there, and a pretty good anti-eco for GODSENT. That's a pretty common one we've been seeing from a lot of professional teams lately, where you get one player to spot around T-Con, and the rest of the players go halls, and whether this guy sees anyone pushing up or not, will direct the rest of the Ts, and it looks like we're going to be seeing that again here, as Hampus is going to be peeking out T-Con. He does spot some action towards that outside area and is going to direct his teammates to go through inner, and inner is completely clear. Hampus trying to escape with nothing but a USP. He's actually in a molly.
Interesting decision to just stick to the USB, as he does throw the Molotov out. I mean, I get that it's very effective up against unarmored players, but still, you might want to get some money. Hampus, he wants to get some style points, and he's definitely accruing them with his quick headshot bit. Instead, choosing to go for the money. He knows what pays the bills, and it's going to be him to support the rest of his team. Devil, though, left alone with a USB of his own. Unfortunately for him, things are a bit harder with this pistol when the enemies have got head armor. And while GODSENT have got plenty of that.
Yeah, pretty unlikely Devil really does anything here. He has a flash. Maybe he'll catch one player off guard, but Pith is going to take him out right in the side of the head. A lot of money for GODSENT here, and the first gun round is going to be coming out, and no one from eXtatus, again, this just seems characteristic of them, is saving for an op. Devil buys it completely naked, so now he's just going to be using an op, just complete glass cannon build right now. And Pith, with a MAC-10 save from the previous round, no player on eXtatus has head armor right now, so any headshot from that is going to do major damage. I'm excited to see what he's able to pull in this round here, with all that movement speed and the ability to connect with some juicy headshots.
Well, juicy headshots is what Devil is looking to shy away from right now, because there's quite a few players who are whispering their way through Ivy, and Devil, well, those are not whisperings he wants to hear. However, there is another man behind trying to help him out. Questone can't help anybody right now, because Freddy B will straight up take the duel and take his life alongside it. Hampus, in the meanwhile, pushes up Olaf, making his way towards Hell. Monty over towards the bomb train, needs to rotate over towards the back of side. Pit, here's the footsteps coming through. Pit, turn around, Pit, what are you doing? He turns around, he doesn't spot the man in between. Monty's still alive, and he's going to be able to return fire. What a chaotic round coming out from them.
Yeah, that was some of the most interesting routing I've seen from CT retake players, as Monty's just running through just the old bomb train, and surprisingly Pith doesn't hear him. That was really kind of unsettling. Online Counter-Strike is known for, I mean, people can just hear everything usually. You're in your comfort of your own home, you're with the headset you always like to use, you're just at your own setting, and there aren't the cheers of crowds everywhere, but somehow unable to hear him. And another anti-eco going to be coming out from GODSENT. They're really taking hold of this T side here.
Pit will not lose a weapon or a teammate. He will defend them all, he says. Twist as well. Well, maybe not all. Maybe not all of them. Quest finds the one player who wasn't underneath the shadow of Pit. And he's going to be able to pick up an AK, steal it away, courtesy of that. Devil, on the other hand, has managed to get his hands on a Deagle that he purchased up earlier on. They are having the T side converge upon them. They don't want this AK to be safe moving forward, but Questone. Oh!
Nice
Okay.
shot from Devil there.
I like how he waited a second before pulling the trigger as well. It's not just a flick and shot. It's a flick, calculate, you know, just take a second. You know you've got it, shoot it, boom. Not a single point of damage lost. It's ice in the veins. Kobe on the 3 and Freddy B on the back.
Quite a bit of damage being taken from GODSENT there. 3 of their members dying. However, still a lot of economy their way, as only one player beneath 4K here. Hampus with 2K, but he's going to be able to buy into or get dropped into the next round anyways. But eXtatus going to pick up 2 ops into this round with armor this time. Not the most utility to go around, but quite a bit more firepower here, and that's what Train is all about. Getting these ops in play, getting these long-range duels in your favor, and hopefully catching some terrorists as they're running between the trains here.
Look at this, Cobblestone. He's positioned over towards Pop Dog. And I have to say, I really, really enjoy the change in metagame around Pop Dog and how we've seen it actually develop. And I'm going to talk about this a bit after the round actually ends, but how we've seen it develop from the E-League Major last year to this one. But now Freddy B's on the ramp. He's actually pushing his way forward. The flashbang comes through. He's going to be able to blind the player on top of the train, allowing Pitts to move forward for a secondary shot onto Monty. Twist backing them up and preventing rotation from Connector. Will be able to net a second as well, as the AWP of Questone will be forced back instead. The incendiary doing the trick, but Hampus is there to cut him right off along with his head. Devil now alone in 1v4, and he's going to be trying to save his op and should be able to do so successfully. Never mind, I lied. Straightforward lied.
Those are just the best lurks to watch. Hampus
Absolutely.
doesn't really have to help the team very much, but because they already got on the bomb site, and he's able to just pick and choose who he wants to fight. He's going to take one fight towards Z, getting a kill in the side of the head of one rotator, and then he's able to find the final kill towards CT spawn as well. Just moving along at his own pace, doing a lot of damage.
Hampus has consistently been displaying excellent throughout this series. I have to give him mad props for that. But this is an anti-eco round, and Freddy is just going down. So I'm going to take this opportunity to quickly talk about Pop Dog and how the metagame around that has been changing, because that's one of the only topics of Train that I actually understand. And it was very interesting. Astralis actually ended up creating a new way of trying to take control of Pop Dog, as Zedko will be able to find a quick kill. Now, their way was just to throw a flashbang down and make it a delayed flashbang so that they would be able to drop down and hopefully be able to blind the player regardless of whether or not he is actually taking the peek. That means that if he does turn around, you're going to be able to get the kill. Just drop down, spray blindly. If he doesn't turn around, then he's going to be blinded up and you can get it anyway. Once players adjusted to that and they were able to start preemptively spraying down, even though it may seem fairly obvious, once they were able to adjust to that, I love the new changes to the metagame where people have actually started stacking up on each other to drop down together into Pop Dog. It's very interesting to see how quickly people are able to adapt in such a small location to shut down one of the most effective positions of CT.
Yeah, it's very important for T's to take control of ladder, that Pop Dog position. If other teams actually have been doing a double molly play, which has been pretty nice to see.
Oh,
also,
right,
basically
right.
Mauling straight down and mauling behind them, so any CT that's down there is just going to start cooking, and sometimes you can even get a kill out of it if they're too far up, because they're going to have to run through 2 mollies to get out. So it's a lot of utility for T's to expend, but does get the job done rather well.
Absolutely. It's just a little bit heartbreaking when you find out, if you find there. But speaking of heartbreaking, I feel like eXtatus might just be having their hearts broken right now. 7-0, and they are getting desperate. 3 AWPs out in their hands.
Seems like every gun round they're just going to add another op, actually.
It's not that many gun rounds left, mate.
Yeah.
Not if they keep throwing their money away like this. But look at this fast-paced play. That's exactly what you do. The insect be able to come both. Hampus forward, sees the boost, will be able to take him down. Questone takes the fall, and Devil. Oh, he's got an. Okay, that should not have been allowed in the slightest bit. Getting sloppy with the spray, and he's going to be punished for that. Zedko going old school Pop Dog control. Doesn't quite have the secondary player to help him out. And Doppelin, despite his skill coming through, the kill scores. Well, I was about to say it still favors the CTs, which indeed it does. Hampus left in a 1v2. This man has been unstoppable, and indeed he will continue the same as Devil is left with an AWP and a couple of flashbangs. And no time whatsoever to speak of. Is going for the defuse. Hampus needs to be able to get this kill. Unfortunately for him, he won't be able to do so, but the round is still in the territory of GODSENT. Devil going down to the bomb explosion will seal eXtatus's economic fate in the ground.
Yeah, GODSENT have a way of, so far in this BO3, making even the most tactical of maps look rather puggy, as they're able to just get onto the bomb sites with just a couple of smokes, one for back green, one for the Z connector, and they're just going to run out and pretty much take every fight they want to, and they come out ahead in so many of them, yeah.
It is a little bit ridiculous, though, isn't it? This is what happens. Just, is GoTV lagging for you?
Yeah, it's lagging for me.
Okay. Fair enough, because I was just getting a little bit worried that we might be seeing a disconnect or something come through. But whatever, we can fill things up. We've already decided that. But Freddie B, I really like his AK skin. It's very nice. Freddie B, though, he's going to be inching forward, AK skin or not. Ramp is his responsibility. I don't like Monty's position of playing over towards that B side where he's getting this aggressive, because there's a lot more you can do from the back of bomb train where you have a lot more rotationary positions open, especially with Zedko holding a bit more of an off angle to the side. Instead, though, Monty is taking the first peek. First contact is being made by him, which allows the re-peek, the wide peek to come through from Zedko. Questone, though, stops any aggression from Catwalk, and Frozen will be the man to follow up with a kill between the trains. It's a 2 versus 2. The op in the hands of Twist might be proving deadly, but deadly is the name of Frozen. Well, really, it's his second name. Apparently, they share second names. Might be cousins. Might be cousins, but this is some Game of Thrones stuff going on as cousin kills cousin, and Frozen will be able to get the bomb defused.
First round for eXtatus, and that looked actually pretty hopeless for them. I think it was a pretty quick 5v or 4v3 disadvantage for them, but B retakes do have a knack for 2v going at the CT's way, as they are able to get that. And as you were saying, the crossfire between Questone and Monty, or maybe it was Zedko actually, on that bomb train, yeah, it was Zedko and Monty, was kind of just not ideal. Usually you want the players to be having some kind of symmetry there for watching both angles so that neither one can be peeked before the other spots. So I think one was watching the upper area and one was watching the lower area, and I think Monty watching the lower area wasn't actually peeked out far enough, so Zedko had to take multiple fights at the same time, which became really difficult for him, and Monty wasn't even able to help him that much, so Monty's angle should be put into question there. I don't think they were on the same page, but still able to win the round with some heroics from their A players on that retake.
Every time you say that I was right about something, I'm going to be ridiculously happy, but eXtatus are also going to be ridiculously happy because they've just gotten 2 kills to open up the round. And GODSENT, well, they've seen this situation before over in Cobblestone, but this is a different map, this is a different day, and Twist is missing today. Frozen, though, will not be doing the same. 4 players left alive from eXtatus.
This is really starting to resemble the Cobble game. GODSENT got off to a really fast start, both in rounds and just the victories that they're getting. And then eXtatus able to adjust for that pace. GODSENT might be overthinking a little bit too sometimes. They tend to... On Cobble, they slowed down their pace. This time they've just kept it up for the entire game. But eXtatus able to adjust and showing that maybe they do belong in Pro League just a little bit. Game's yet to be decided, but they are making a case for themselves right now.
Well, they're hungering their Thurston and they are wanting for a Pro League spot. Whether or not GODSENT will give it to them is yet to be determined. However, eXtatus, if they're able to win this round out, then the money on GODSENT is looking a little bit weak. If that is the circumstance that they find themselves in, a 7-8 or even a 6-9 score out of the question. Questone, though, not question. Common confusion comes out now and then. Even his mother calls him question accidentally sometimes, but hey, it's fine. Mothers can make mistakes. They're only human, which is not really true. They're stupid. Monty on the green train, trying to find a few kills, but Frozen is taking away his do so, and the lives of GODSENT in the process. 8-3 eXtatus off the back of a quick 4 kills from Frozen will be able to move to the next round with another added to their scores tally.
Yeah, GODSENT have to be happy about having 8 rounds already, but they definitely need to be trying something different. These contact plays towards outside with just a sandwich smoke and an E-box smoke aren't proving to be that effective. In fact, they didn't even have an E-box smoke. I spoke just kind of out of habit there, but yeah, they're trying to go out with a single smoke and no real time flashbangs and going out 1 by 1 against eXtatus. They've adjusted. They're ready for these fights now. They know what's coming their way, and GODSENT, if they have just one execute up their sleeves or maybe some kind of gimmicky play that they can pull off, they need to be pulling it out now because if they want any more rounds on the board, eXtatus are just ready for these kind of plays. But you're going to be seeing a full stack towards inner for GODSENT as they are ready to hit this B bomb site. Just 1 smoke on Pith. Probably just going to be throwing that for Sidewalk, maybe Z, And one flash from Hamp is going to be a pretty simple B hit here. See how it goes.
The information has been given away that peak early on with Zedco's famous 4 players over in inner. That is inner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, over in inner. Always get confused, honestly. Freddy B, though, will be providing a boost up. Zedco, though, he is prepared, and Disco Doppler is not. Unfortunately, that puts GODSENT in a bit of a disadvantage. They would like to be able to do some economic damage, at least if nothing else. But Twist, he's doing more... Okay. I missed that shot because of the GoTV. I'm very frustrated by that. But it's fine, because so is eXtatus. They just lost 2 players to Twist. And that is a bit more than they were willing to forfeit. At least they keep both their ops and the AK-47 alive. So they've got the biggest portions of their firepower still in their hands.
Yeah, GODSENT there had actually a really good flashbang to enable Twist there, who didn't see the shot, unfortunately, due to the GoTV lag. But I am sure that it was crispy, as he was able to take out a couple there from that upper position. And that's something GODSENT's been really good at. Even when they're losing, they still manage to do a lot of damage in eXtatus. Gonna take some really early damage here, getting 2 players down to 15 and 20 instantly. And Frozen with a really cheeky angle towards Sandwich. That's not something you usually see, and Hamp is just...
I feel like Frozen's starting to realize, you know what, wait, this is becoming puggy. I know what I do in FPL. Let's turn that switch on, and well, he's turning it on all right. Twist and Pit, Bite. Wait,
I say Pit.
Bite?
I say Pit.
My bad. Yeah, I'm telling you.
I heard both, though.
No. I'm pretty sure it's Pit. It's just, it's the hour. It's gonna get worse. Wait a while, and I'm gonna be calling Twist twice or something.
Twice and Pipe.
Dev 7L. Pit though, he's got the chance to clean this up very quickly, but Freddy B will be mopping dead. Dev 7L will run out from Z Connector, dear God. Devil running away from Z Connector will be able to secure his AWP into the next round, if nothing else. GODSENT make it to 9.
eXtatus are still going to have money to buy into the next round. Devil just needs to drop 1 gun for Monty, and then they should be good to go. But with, I think one player is going to have to go for a FAMAS.
Oh.
And, oh, nice kill there. Pretty cheeky play from Freddy to just run through that Molotov without a single care, but is going to get taken out in return. Still good money for GODSENT here. Actually, as I say that, they do actually buy up, and it is pretty low for most of the players, but not much utility for eXtatus, and that's oftentimes what you need against puggy teams, to just slow them down or get them to lose synchronization on a split. But so this is going to be a pretty much all-around gun duel, and it's going to be GODSENT to take action towards outside. Monty's going to find Pith by quickly twisting and turn on Devil. Now Zeko's just going to push through the smoke at Z, and this is not going the way of GODSENT whatsoever. Yeah, eXtatus are just ready for these kind of pushes now.
Freddy and Twist moving forward. Freddy's found one. It's on the brain that he has to find his next victim, but Cobblestone, he is ready. He is waiting. And he smells blood in the water. Freddy B hiding behind E-Box. He's not feeling particularly comfortable, and for good reason, because Frozen is on the other side of his crosshair, and that is not a man you want to have looking at you.
No, indeed. Definitely don't want to be either on the receiving end of that bullet. And that's going to get the 5th round on the board for eXtatus, and they're really starting to bring this back. If they have any kind of set plays or plans for the T side of this map, I guess we're going to see those in action shortly.
This would absolutely be the time, yeah. But Ivy is actually one location where they haven't put too much pressure on, other than that one singular round. But Monty's reminding them why they shouldn't put pressure on Ivy, because he is the man who is waiting on the other side. Twist though, smokes, goddamn smokes all throughout this best of 3. Don't matter. They actually just do not matter. Kills through them everywhere. Cobblestone, who needs an AWP when you can just pull out your P250, not your P250, your USB instead. P250 is in the hand of Devil. He wants to be one of the cool kids as well, not use his op. There's no to it. Twist, on the other hand, doesn't quite have the luxury of being a cool kid. He's only got 10 HP to work with. And that's why he's going to stick to his AK-47 and not play fair. Because sometimes life is not fair, and this is one of those times as he is playing 1 versus 2 to try and take this to a 10th round. Double digits in the first half would be extraordinarily good for them, but double digits will not be achieved just quite yet. Zedco and Cobblestone combined, their powers are enough to take him down.
Yeah, and that was just a half of basically eXtatus adjusting. It's a shame that they weren't able to realize how GODSENT were playing earlier. Usually that's what benefits pro teams in BO3s against scrimmier teams. But yeah, just a lot of rounds on the board for GODSENT, and this gives them a really good half. If they're able to win the pistol, you can definitely expect that they're going to win the game. So eXtatus, it's going to be really important that they come up with something pretty nutty for this pistol, or at least just hit their shots, because this is not the best deficit to lose the pistol on. So we're going to be seeing a Molotov from Devil right now and a P250. Can expect some more utility, and this is something eXtatus have really loved doing in a lot of their pistol rounds, and we're going to actually see 2 Molotovs and 2 smokes. I'm interested to see what kind of strat they have in store for us, as 3 of their members are starting to walk towards Ivy to start this round off. But GODSENT have a pretty good setup for this, as Disco, Doppelin, and Twist are on both sides of the Ivy position. If they're able to get some nice headshots here, the eXtatus plan might just fall apart before it even begins. And Disco Doppelin's going to get that first shot, and he's going to find a second, and actually Frozen's going to find Betray.
Oh, God.
But Twist is going to find Return Kill.
That is a reminder of Epsilon when Disco Doppelin was... Oh, that's when I used to cast Disco Doppelin very regularly, and I just remember everyone called him Disco Daddy. He was very, very good back then. That was back when everyone said, why is this man not on NIP? Why is this man not in consideration for being amongst the better Swedish teams in Sweden, which is redundancy, but whatever. And, you know, he's showing us glimpses of that old form once again against eXtatus in a stage where it matters such a significant amount. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you're just tuning in, this is the ESL Pro League relegation match, and eXtatus have their backs against the wall, and GODSENT are the ones who have put them in that position. But in a force by, they are moving their way forward down the ramp over onto the B site. Bit waiting on the opposite side. His UMP is hungering, and it is hungering for some money and for some blood. Both of those things generally go hand in hand.
And we can see a pretty different anti-eco setup here for GODSENT. So eXtatus like to play on both sides of the bomb train. On this setup, we see Twist is just watching the upper B area from a range, and Pith is in a really great spot on top of the white train here. Some call it Pop Dog, as he's going to be able to counter this exec with just pure positioning, and no crossfire needed, nothing fancy. It's just going to be them both hitting their shots. Quick molly to already stop this rush. Frozen's just going to run through it. Complete madman.
I like that. I like that, though. I really do like that. But he's going to go down regardless, along with Devil and the rest of his teammates. They've been given a massive burial. Zedkov, though, will add a bit of blue to the right side. Right side will feed. Bomb is planted, surprisingly enough, despite the absolute massacre that just occurred. 10 to 11 to 6. GODSENT continue forward.
That's one of the disadvantages of playing farther back. Your position is a little safer, you're less likely to die, but you're also much more likely to give up the bomb plan unless you're able to stop literally every single
in a situation like this where you're up by as much as you are, would you prioritize maybe letting them get the bomb plan down? Personally, as an in-game leader, would you do that? Or would you rather say, you know what, let's just play a bit more aggressively, make sure they can't get the bomb plan down, but also risk losing the round potentially?
I would say that I would probably depends on my utility and the guns that my players are using for the situation. In this respect, I would have played farther back. You don't want to give an M4 up close, but a great opening pick from Devil on Hampus.
Double drop down into the ladder. They're able to first. Oh, Devil, nice shot. Coming out onto Freddy B. Just a quick moving drive-by. Twist will be able to prevent the ball from being planted as he sprays through the smoke. Gets that kill. Disco Dumpling, though, is left alone versus 3. This might be eXtatus taking it away from him, but he's got more than enough chance to be able to fight back. Devil doesn't have armor, and he has an M4 on top of the orange train. However, Doppelin with 2 flashbangs is more than well equipped enough to be able to try and take him down. Devil and company have found their hands on a couple of smokes though. So Disco Doppelin instead trying to move from around the back of A and find them with a flank. Devil still on top of the train, doesn't see him, and Disco Doppelin capitalizes. The bomb is still not down. Zedko will take... No, Zedko's been spotted out, so Disco Doppelin knows exactly where he is, and what a clutch coming out from him. Disco is going back to daddy days.
Disco able to just farm some kills in that round, picking up 3. And that goes back to your question about where would I play close or far there. And given the situation there, you probably want to play a little farther back. You already got the bomb plant in the previous round, so they are going to have generally maybe P250s. We saw a Deagle there, and you can let them plant the bomb. They already are going to have the money for it, and if you just play a retake setup, they're probably going to be using all that extra money they got from the previous bomb plant into investing into this round. So GODSENT took quite a hit there. If they played farther back, could have been a pretty clean retake, as long as they didn't give up the hell position or Ivy or the back bomb area. But instead, playing up close in ladder and trying to flank from ladder gets them in a lot of trouble there. Luckily, Disco was able to bail them out. We're going to be seeing the first gun round come out here for this half, and eXtatus is going to be starting with a pretty standard 2-1-2 default. Kind of a 3-2 for a bit, but Cobblestone is moving back now, and they're going to have box hall control already, and not having to expend much utility to get this control is pretty advantageous. Zedko, though, decides to fall off of it. Kind of surprising to give up this kind of map control, especially against a team like GODSENT, where they're willing to push at a lot of different times in the round. Freddy, though, great positioning by ladder right now, next to Hampus, playing kind of close to each other, not on each other, but Hampus just has a really good angle, and this is going to catch Zedko out, and
Frozen
probably
also going down on the other side. Freddy is able to do the honors over there. Monty, he's taking control of top dog, but the flashbang will prevent him from doing too much more. Freddy makes his way across the side, gains quite a bit of map control, which will allow them to perhaps feel more comfortable, but that comfort is punished by Cobblestone, as he's able to take down one more time up the ladder before being traded away. Devil left in a 1 versus 3. Freddy B has to try and find him, as he is lurking around in O-Long. Will be spotted, and Freddy B almost gets the kill, but tries to jump across, getting greedy and being punished for it. Now in a 1 versus 2, Devil has to continue to inch his way forward. Could maybe try and scope through, but 10 seconds and it's all gone out of the window.
yeah, unable to really find anything there. Kind of a decent A exec there, kind of a wall of smokes, but that position from Hampus in the ladder area caught off eXtatus as they tried to do a double drop-down play towards ladder. And that's sometimes when you want to just use your Molotovs. You don't really know until it happens, but as we were saying earlier, that meta has been developing. Sometimes they are dropping down as 2, and that Hampus was totally aware of and was able to catch them in the act.
They've gone for the buy behind the AWP that they did save up, though. 2 AKs, 2 Deagles, and AWP on Devil will be their only friends right now. If I'm not wrong, they haven't gotten a single round so far, have they? Oh, Frozen finds one quick kill early on. Punishes Freddy B, who was pushing down. Perhaps he expected more of a Wazzy to come through, but with Devil having the AWP, it has to be taken into consideration that there will be a couple of rifles here and there. But that being said, eXtatus hasn't gotten a single round in this half so far, so GODSENT have definitely got something of a number on eXtatus on how exactly they are playing. So some adjustments could be expected, or at least we could hope for some adjustments to come through very, very soon. However, with Monty and Cobblestone going for something very similar, as they do drop down, they won't be punished this time around because Hampus is forced to rotate out of Pop Dog over towards Ivy instead once Freddy B pushes down. through A main and is taken out. But Hampus going for the long rotate out from behind. The windows have been broken, and with 30 seconds left on the clock, they need to start executing over towards a particular site. Smokes are being thrown everywhere, but the B site will be where exactly they are. Monty goes in, but there's already 3 players waiting over there for them. Frozen moves through the smoke that he just threw to extinguish the fire, trying to plant the bomb, but will choose to get a kill onto Disco before he goes for that bomb plant. In the meanwhile, Twist is still over towards the back of the cold train, and unless he can get a quick kill, these 2 players might just choose to save their weapons. Money is not great on GODSENT.
Nice skill coming out from Devil there, and yeah, that's pretty surprising given how GODSENT has won every single round of this half. They haven't really kept too many alive in a lot of the rounds as well, and in doing so, don't have much economy to go into the following round. Twist is going to be able to save this AWP, it looks like. Actually, Zedko's right on his trail, and is able to actually find the kill. And is he going to choose to pick up the second op? Decides not to. So yeah, GODSENT actually don't look that great right now. The economy is pretty bad. They're going to have to decide whether they want to force or save into this upcoming round. It looks like they're going to be doing kind of a half buy here. I'm not the biggest fan of, given that they're going to be on double save territory, but does save money for ops 2 rounds from now. So they are thinking ahead with this kind of buy.
Would have honestly really liked to see Pith and Hampus maybe spend a bit more money on a few flashbangs, but we can talk about that in a second, as the flashbang will catch Pith out instead. He won't be able to push forward or anything of the sort. The smoke that has been deployed will be providing him some temporary recover, but that will not be helping him too much. From the grenade, finds the first kill. Zedko goes down, but Monty's there to trade his teammates' life away. 4 versus 4, GODSENT. They've got 4 players on the A site, all of them still there. The information has been received that it might very well be an A site taken. Indeed, that seems to be the case. Unfortunately, information does not mean that they will be able to stop it. Disco Doplin could push through the smoke and maybe try and find a man's back. But he hasn't
Just a
quite
little
done
late
so
there.
yet.
At this point,
Timing.
it's going to be really difficult for GODSENT to get back into this one. Probably just going to be looking for the 1 AK that was downed towards box halls. I think Freddy B is looking for that right now, as he is above ladder. But other than that, I think the players of GODSENT are likely just going to be saving their deagles, and yep, Devil going to be just holding that angle, knowing that one of the CTs is definitely going to be hungry for that AK. And now Disco and Twist going to be playing towards CT, and actually Disco is able to get a kill there. So he's going to have a deagle and an AK into the upcoming round, and that can mean a lot. If that AK gets a couple kills in ladder, for example, definitely can turn what should be an eXtatus round into GODSENT's favor, just coming up shortly. So Twist, though, he's going to make his way up ladder, and this was a pretty good round by eXtatus yet again. They've had a couple good rounds now in a row, not taking too many casualties, just going for those B hits, and despite GODSENT having quite a few players in B 2 rounds ago, this round it was just Pith by himself, making that one aggressive play towards the halls, and after he was taken out, they had free reign of the bomb site. Connected with their Ivy players going through back lane, and just a pretty good pinch, all things considered.
GODSENT now, with their money being as weak as it is, I would have really liked to see them go for a flash instead of these Z's and the 50, but Frozen, he's pushed through, found a kill. Monty's able to help him out as well. Hampus, despite having an open chance to take down Questone, is unable to do so. Monty, well, just finishes off Disco Doppler, he's making it look easy at this stage. But I would immensely like to see some Ivy side aggression in a situation where you've got an AK-47 and nothing else. It's buy up a few flashes instead of your CZs, throw out the flashes and hope that you can get some kills over towards Ivy with your AK, or even push out through A main for information and potentially kills as well. It's all entirely possible, especially if you are sending in a player first to trade away using the AK.
Yeah, Doblin used his single AK to just try to hold the B bomb site solo. I'm not a fan of that kind of play whatsoever. If he just sits in his spool's position, it's unlikely he's going to get more than 2 kills. But fast round for eXtatus, they're actually going to get out onto the B bomb site, and Freddy B is going to just going to say, guys better stop that, as he's going to hold the summit position here, and Devil is going to be posting on him.
I will never not laugh every time I hear position, but Hampus makes sure that that is not an eventuality that comes around. 14-9, GODSENT, 2 rounds away from securing their victory and re-securing their slot at the ESL Pro League.
Yeah, they're pretty close to doing it, and eXtatus's money is not looking great, and it looks like, although eXtatus may lose this, they are not out of the relegation tournament yet. This is the first game in a winner's bracket. It's a 4-team winner's bracket with a loser's bracket, and they will still have a chance at Pro League, but it's going to be a journey.
Well, Monty's still fighting, and he's able to take down Hampus while he is jumping up and down a few ladders here and there. It's dangerous for your health, but apparently it's even more dangerous for the Swedish health. 14-9 GODSENT. They're not quite out of hot water just yet. They're pretty close, but they're not out yet.
Yeah, man disadvantage. This is pretty much the worst position to be on train. There are 5 very big openings for T's to run out of, and there are only 4 CTs to cover those 5 spots. So one player is going to be responsible for quite a bit there. But Freddy is in a great location. He's probably going to be catching both of them
can't do
here.
this to them.
He does. And
Tragic.
this just one disadvantage of doing head stack drop down at ladder is finding a player like Freddy just right beneath you. If you don't clear that properly first, with just maybe a Molotov or just jumping over it, Freddy's gonna catch you, and he does.
I just feel like that's a very... you're risking a lot when you send 2 players down a narrow choke point like Pop Dog, especially when you keep in mind that Pop Dog is not a situation where you're particularly inflexible as a CT player. You have the chance to rotate over towards B, you have the chance to cover over any progression from A main as well. When you send down 2 players in a 5 versus 4 where you have the advantage, you're essentially risking a huge chance of losing out both of them to a proper spray, even if you clear out the angle. If the player is able to spray transfer over, that's just a ridiculous risk to take in an advantage situation. And now Monty, again, he gets that first kill. eXtatus, they're down 9-15 because of that one massive mistake. And 3 players over towards Ivy might not be enough to fix that, especially when Pit is shutting down the other ones across the map. So already you're having your options close out on top of you.
Yeah, Freddy B is going to be holding the smoke at Ivy. If anyone from eXtatus gets a little antsy, he's probably going to be finding these kills here. But if anyone's going to be finding an entry, it would be Frozen. And Frozen going to be dancing with Freddy here. And he's actually going to get the better of him. So now it's a 4v3 advantage for eXtatus as they're going to get out of that Ivy position. But Doplin is really keyed in on their spot right now. And he is not going to miss the shot as he gets Cobblestone down. Devil peeking over.
That was a great shot.
I just saw a pixel and was able to take him out.
Online as well, so you have to keep in mind latency disadvantage. Twist, while he's not shying away from a challenge, his teammate has put up numbers in this game, and Twist, well, he's been a bit more quiet this time, but he's going to let his team take it away.
Doplin right now kind of dancing around, I think it's Monty right there, having a little bit of a disco around the E-box position, but now Twist is going to be holding for this peek from Monty. I don't think he expected that angle to be peaked, but now it's down to Devil for eXtatus to stay in this winner's bracket here, and he's going to be planning in back bomb. They are so aware of his positioning, and Doplin going to close things out.
eXtatus, they're out of the match.
They still have a chance to make Pro League, guys. If you are an eXtatus fan, do not fret just yet. They are going to have to go through the loser's bracket, though, as they're going to be playing Space Soldiers, and then the loser of the match between GODSENT and Na'Vi. So, still a chance for them to make it to Pro League next season. So, stay tuned to find out how that goes for them.
Absolutely. Now, with that all being said, we're going to be winding up. Tea time, Maui, Snake, both of us. Always a pleasure to cast the Pro League. You're not going to be seeing a lot of us around for a little while, but don't worry. Maui's a bit of a up-and-coming pro player in MDL as well. Now, casting MDL, so it should be an interesting combination nonetheless. That being said, we're going to be off now. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Peace out.
your smile. Now the sunshine brings the light. Fill me out with a flame. I will let you win this game. Take me out where I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and take me out where I'm down. 'Cause with you I'm safe and sound. 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 I'm safe and sound.